30 centimeters. 30 centimeters.
On that note, folks, we are live. Welcome, one and all, to episode number 24. 24, yep, 24. I had to triple check my notes here. 24 of No Bucks Given. Thank you all for tuning in here on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Horny Goat, and the Horny Goat Podcasting Network, where you guys can listen to us on all your favorite podcasting platforms. We've got a crap ton of stuff to talk about here on No Bucks Given. Of course, this is the roundtable show where we basically just talk about anything and anything going on in the world that we find funny, interesting, bizarre, or weird, or basically anything in between. You guys know me. I'm Connor. Of course, you see me on the Marvel Roundtable, all sorts of other fun stuff. But of course, I am not alone. I've got with me other wonderful members of the Horny Goat crew. We got the power couple themselves. We got JP and Heather. What's up, folks?
Not much. Want to hear a story? Story time. I fell tonight.
I'll bite.
I fell tonight. Like about, 20 minutes ago?
Yeah. Tripped over Wendy's snow sled.
We got one of those unicorn fucking snow sleds.
Yeah.
So, I'm
in June. Okay.
So I went to grab my chips and my Millennium Kugels is what I'm drinking tonight.
I had some.
That makes sense what he's just said.
Let him...
I just went to grab a snack. Pringles and fucking Lion Kugels, right? So Wendy's got shit all over the floor. And here I am, a damn near 50-year-old guy who can't even fucking crawl out of bed in the morning without help. Tried stepping over this, 3-foot fucking inner tube that looks like a fucking unicorn. It has unicorn head on it. I cleared the inner tube, but I did not clear the head of that fucking unicorn. And
Where did that go?
That was my question.
Also, I would like to say that there is no beer in the entire world that sounds more Wisconsin than Lion and Kugel.
You want some Lion and Kugels?
Or can we get
Is that even
You want
supposed
some
to
Lion and
be?
Kugel? Yeah.
Lion and Kugels is pretty good.
It's literally the most Midwestern beer I've ever heard of. Like,
Why
I'm
are
going
you-
to the store. You want me to pick you up some Lion and Kugels?
Actually, you want me to go pick you up some Lionies? Lion and Kugels?
It's between that and Yingling?
I love it.
Yep, we have a beer here called Yingling. What?
Sounds racist.
Is it Yingling?
It's beer.
Heather didn't even say a word, and he's like, "What?"
I said between Lion and Kugels and Yingling.
Oh, this is gonna be a great
He's
evening.
killing all the Yinglings.
This is great. So clearly JP and Heather are doing pretty well. We got Gina. How you doing, Gina?
I'm doing good.
You didn't trip over a fucking
How are you,
unicorn.
Connor?
You didn't trip over a
How
fucking
are you,
unicorn.
Connor?
Hanging
No,
in
but,
there.
Like I was like cleaning my air conditioner today, right? And you're supposed to be able to pop the fucking cover off, in order to get to like underneath so you can clean all that shit out. I could not for the life of me get the cover off. So I'm like, all right, whatever. I'll just get Q-tips and I'll clean out what I can. That entire thing was full of fucking like mold. It
Yeah.
was disgusting.
Yeah. We cleaned out our
It
AC
was so gross.
about or the missus cleaned out the AC like a month ago, and like disgusting. She was describing it to me as like just. I'm like, oh yeah, well, we haven't really cleaned it since we moved in, so whoopsie.
Well, here's the thing.
Mm.
Call me dumb. I've never everywhere else that I lived always had central air, so I've never had to deal with a window unit until I moved into here. Well, I've lived here for 13 years, so not having a window unit before, I never knew that you could like pop the cover off and clean it or whatever. So the thing hasn't been cleaned for 13 years, or no, 10 years, because since I moved into this apartment, it was so gross. And yeah. Long story short, I have to find my maintenance guy on Monday and like beg him to come in here and help me pop this fucking cover off because it is disgusting. And now that I know it's there, I can't
Sleep at night not knowing it's
Okay.
Ugh. But
Gina's story
I
escalated
kept it as
into
clean as I could, but
Gina. I was enthralled by your story there because you were just all
I
up
know
in.
you should.
so are you, and you landed on the
Should
unicorn the
hear
wrong
my
way.
story.
I didn't
And
on a
the
unicorn. I tripped over a unicorn.
But the horn had to go somewhere. That's all I'm saying.
Good lord.
Can't walk straight anymore.
Yeah. Anyway, on an unrelated note, what's up, Basement?
What's up, man? How you doing? How's life?
Hanging in there, one day at a time. I know.
Aren't we all?
I know. you I don't know if you want to go too much in this. I know your fart buddy there is not doing the greatest right now, but he's hanging in there. He seems like he's doing okay right now, right?
Yeah, like right now he's okay, and I mean it's just the weirdest thing. So I mean I don't really want to
Yeah.
label
Well,
anything until I get a vet to look at him
Yeah.
and a vet to look at me.
Okay.
His ass stinks.
Is it weird to anybody else that Connor referred to him as his fart buddy? Meaning, like, in my
Yeah.
head, I imagine the two of you sitting on the couch together, and you guys are just both like farting away.
I mean,
Pretty much how it is.
yeah.
All right.
I don't think I'm wrong. Well, we've got
All right.
I just wouldn't want to smell that cushion. So we've got quite a few things to talk about tonight. I mean, a pretty extensive list. Of course, we want you guys to chime in as well. If you guys are listening to us right here on the channel, youtube.com/Horny Goat. We've got our wonderful usual crew already joining us. We got Real Cordy, Jurgen Murian. We've got, let's see who else is joining us. We got Alpha. We've got Tim. We've got Federico. Luis Money also joining us. Thank you all for tuning in. Appreciate it. Hit that thumbs up if you haven't done so already, and join in the conversation. And I think the first one, we got this. This is probably gonna be the one that is that we're gonna probably spend the most amount of time on. So screw it, we're gonna get this out of the way. Vince McMahon. Let's
Back fucking bitches paying NDAs.
So obviously most of us, if not all of us, either at the very least started out as wrestling fans. That's how we met. That's how we kind of got together. That's the common fandom that brought us together. And we've talked about wrestling stuff on here so many times. But now it's kind of this is a whole different story. So for those of you who don't know or have been living under a rock lately, Vince is in some hot doo-doo, as apparently there is an investigation on a secret $3 million settlement that the longtime chief executive Vince McMahon agreed to pay to a departing employee with whom he allegedly had an affair, according to the documents and people familiar with the board inquiry. The January 2022 separation agreement bars the now former employee, who was hired as a paralegal in 2019, from discussing her relationship with Mr. McMahon or disparaging him, the people said. So the thing of it is that, long story short, TLDR, Vince had some sort of sexual relationship with a employee that was a paralegal.
There's confusion about TLDR.
I know. But go on, I'm listening.
I know. I'm like TLD. Like, long story short, and I say it 5 more times as I'm keep on going. He increased her salary from $100,000 a year to $200,000 a year. Gave her a $3 million settlement to basically like silence her. And it's one thing that one of these has happened, but now apparently the board of directors is digging further into it and finding out other NDAs that were found out. But on top of that, the problem is the fact that, well, at least supposedly in this case, it's Vince's money, which was the big question, did he use company money? But now the board is investigating this further to the point where, oh, that's a whole different can of worms. I don't even I don't know too much about bigger business.
That could be federal charges.
Hold on.
I can't remember what the fuck it's called, but if he used federal money, or not federal money, the
company money, yeah,
then it's basically what do they call it? Company espionage or something like
that.
that.
Yeah, it's fraud too. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. So in the midst of all this, while the
listen, they both start with an E.
Yeah. In the midst of all the in the midst of all the craziness, a couple of things have happened since the investigation started. Vince has voluntarily stepped down as CEO, with his daughter Stephanie McMahon, who literally just said less than a month ago that she was stepping away for personal reasons, and now she's the acting CEO. Vince shows up on SmackDown this past Friday, barely says a thing, which everyone just scratched. This thing's a freaking mess. The thing's a nightmare. So I guess this begs the question to everybody here and everybody listening. What does everybody think's going to happen? I don't think this is going to be the end of Vince. I
don't think anything's going to happen. I don't think anything's going to happen.
I mean, the only thing would be a hit on the public image.
Was the hush money, because where he fucked up was
the hush money came from Vince.
Paid her.
If the
But
hush
if he
money,
wouldn't have paid,
but
that's
if it
still
came,
considered company coercion, or it's still considered coercion. Like you're coercing
no,
somebody to
not if it's his own personal money.
So would it be
still
considered then
considered
like,
bribing.
well, like yeah, it has to be something. You're paying for sex.
Okay, bribing, but you're not gonna fucking go to jail for that.
No, but it's gonna be
No,
a hit on
but it
the
could
public
end
image
him in
for
the
him.
company. It could end him in the company because since the
Well, if the
company
other
is
board
so
members don't want to be
publicly,
associated,
not only that, but the company is partially public and it's partially owned by the public. So
Public.
that's
No,
that's the
could
problem.
very
the
well.
public.
Sorry?
What?
It's publicly traded.
It's
It's
publicly
publicly traded,
traded.
but
It's
it's
not
not
publicly
like
owned.
if
Oh,
the
I
other
understand
board
that, but
members.
the stockholders own a portion of the company. So
Yeah, but 80-20, Vince owns 80%.
80%.
yeah, but okay, fine, whatever. You still have the fucking board, and if the board, as Basement said, if the board does not want him associated with the company, then he could very well be on his way out.
That's
He'll ever be on his way out. I think they might ask for him to make that step down from CEO permanent.
So half the people on his board aren't going to do anything.
They probably also shared that woman as well.
And here's the thing. Does anybody else think that maybe, just maybe, Stephanie might have known what, not necessarily what was going to happen within the company, but because it was such a short time ago that Stephanie announced that she was stepping back. So could that
Then
have
she just
been
got
because it was
brought
coming
forward.
out and she wanted to distance herself a little bit from her father?
It's convenient.
But then she's stepping into the light after him stepping down, so it doesn't
Well,
seem to make a lot of.
What if it would make sense if the board asked her to step in? In the meantime, you know
On
what I'm
the
saying?
board. She's on the board.
I
Right,
think
but
it's a
if just
genius
like the
move
rest
from
of the
Vince, to be
members-
honest with you.
Think
With
so?
Stephanie there. Oh, you don't think Vince is like coercing Stephanie to make certain
Basically.
decisions? And I mean,
He's gonna
come on.
make all the
All I
decisions
know-
without making all the decisions, you know.
All I know is that I actually feel bad for Linda McMahon because how many times has Vince fucking cheated on her?
So
And it's not like it's like
And-
private, you know. It's very very fucking
He
public.
probably got lonely because when she was like comatose in that
Shut
wheelchair.
up! I hate you.
No,
I had Trish Stratus at that time.
it could be
Basement.
Vince. It could be Vince doing hush hush for somebody else.
It's called Laurinaitis.
Anybody's
why?
wrong.
For-
Go ahead.
For the record, Vince and Linda have been separated for 20 years. Even though they're still technically married, they've been romantically separated for 20 years.
Yeah, they left their
Chalk
relationship
that
in
up
that
to-
wheelchair.
Yeah.
Put that up to situations that I had no fucking clue about.
Wendy.
I don't
Like,
think.
I don't know. Like, I feel like this type of situation.
Well,
First of all, if an NDA was signed, and they'll have to, if they want to go any further legally, the person that is going to have to be identified that is this is for, and I'm sure they already know like the insides of it. But
Yeah,
I mean,
Who it is? They're just not disclosing that to the public.
the thing then you to call into question the NDA. Why, if you had to sign an NDA to get $3 million, would you ever talk about it to anybody? And they're gonna be like, well,
I would.
how
sure.
else did anybody else know?
I thought that. Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but like if you're smart, most NDAs include a like privacy.
Well, it's a non-disclosure
You're not
agreement,
allowed-
right? So you're not allowed to speak
You're
about
not
what you're
allowed to talk
doing.
Disclosure agreement.
yes.
Yeah.
As soon as you sign it, you accept the money, then
Yeah.
Yeah.
next
If
time
you
Well-
don't, you pay the money
talk about it
back.
after that.
It's a done deal at that point. I've signed a couple, but I've never realized that I had to sign them for work.
Oh,
But
yeah,
I
like
never
private things, yeah.
I don't know if there's like a time limit to this shit. I can't assume there would be. I think, or if there is, then it might be optional.
Statute of
It
limitation.
depends. NDAs can be so customized depending on, like, some say no, you can't talk about the situation whatsoever. Some say you can't disparage the person, which I know this one did have, but I don't know the specifics of the NDA. And really, at the end of the day, it's not this particular specific circumstance that's the problem. I mean, don't get me wrong. This does not look
Yeah,
good
they're
whatsoever
digging
for Vince.
deeper.
It's the fact that there could be more that could be worse.
Yes.
I think Vince isn't even the problem. in this. I think Kevin Dunn. I also think John Laurinaitis.
Just with the corruption of that company as a whole, and once one thing happens, a litany of things come to the surface.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but in this instance, this girl apparently not only had relationship with Vince, but also John Laurinaitis.
Yes.
They're tossing her around like a fucking candy at a party.
Why are you paying $3 million for a prostitute?
She wasn't. She was a paralegal.
Yeah, but why do that? Just go get a fucking prostitute.
Well, I mean, from what I understand, it wasn't just like they had affairs, like continuous affairs, and then when they ended and she left the company, paid her hush money.
I couldn't ever imagine having sex with Vince McMahon.
I mean, for the right money.
I personally, like I said, I think there's people that have done far worse things than Vince as far as embezzling money. I don't think Stephanie. I will say this. This is why I think Linda and Vince got split. This part of it. Okay. He's a billionaire. He's a billionaire. I mean, guy's 75 fucking years old. I don't know what more. I know people are like, oh, Vince is a piece of shit.
Honestly,
How? Do you even know the fucking guy? I mean, it's a pretty shitty thing for him to do. Yes. It's horrible. I don't condone it. But for as much shit as this guy gets, is it deserved? Really?
Do we even know? Is there any mention of when this happened?
No, that's the thing.
I thought it was 2019 that this happened.
I believe it was 2019 into 2020 because that's when the raise was in effect.
So what the fuck? Now she's having sex with a 3-year-old Vince McMahon.
You know what?
Yep.
They might actually. They might actually be if he gave her a raise, and if it's going to be really fucking hard to prove. But if they can somehow prove that she got that raise because she was in a relationship with Vince at the time, then Vince can be in trouble.
Yeah.
You've got to have documentation.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, if she starts off,
and
from what I read, and this is like, I have no idea what the authenticity of this thing is. She started off at a certain rate, and they can't be paralegal for WWE at $100,000. That's a lot for fucking paralegal.
Paralegal assistant too.
And then they bounced her up to 200. Those numbers make no sense, even from the starting point.
Here's the thing: a paralegal, it's going to be very difficult for a paralegal to make $100,000 a year, let alone a paralegal's assistant.
No way a paralegal makes $100,000 a year.
And then on top of that, the assistant is not only making $100,000, but then she gets a raise to up to $200,000, which means at that point she was probably far surpassing whatever paralegal she was supposed to be.
But also, like, who's in control of payroll there? They're not like, what the fuck?
There's nothing.
Well, it's his own money. That's the part of it. But the raise thing, yeah.
No, this is the actual, yeah.
My point is in general with Vince. There's so many things.
No way. Become a paralegal, earn $28 an hour. In Canadian, the average pay for a paralegal is $53,000.
Yeah, that's
so. Why would WWE hire at $100,000 double?
And that's for a paralegal, not a paralegal assistant.
Paralegal assistant probably be like 36 to 35. Like
on top of
to become a paralegal, I guess.
On top of all this, I think the other bigger thing is that WWE, now that it's a publicly traded company, or in essence, obviously PR is a huge thing. And granted, WWE's been through a lot worse PR and still been fine, but it's a different day and age. And so while everything,
sorry.
I was going to say, while everything in this context and everything that's going on that we're discussing about may have been technically legal and on the up and up, and everything looks, and everything's like, understandable from like a criminal aspect, or like even from like the company, if he didn't put any of his own any company money into it.
Right.
It's very interesting to see what's going to happen from the PR side of things, because obviously Stephanie stepping in is mostly a PR move. And
So
that's why I said that Vince might very well be out, not like because of the PR point of it, because like Connor said, we are living in a very, very different world now. We are living in the Me Too movement. We are living in this fucking sexual harassment complaints like crazy. So they might actually fire Vince just basically based on moral.
I think WWE's demographic isn't
I
exactly
don't think that they're
that
gonna fire.
side
Hold
of
on.
things.
it's not going anywhere.
Yes, but their HR department is, and they need to make sure that they put a nip in this right now so that nothing in the future happens. I don't think they're going to fire Vince. I think that they will ask Vince to step down.
Honestly, I feel like Vince showed up on
He's not.
SmackDown for a ratings bump. And if you're
Again, I was
in all
just
honesty,
going to say, because he that's one other thing I want to say. Everybody's like, why didn't he say anything? Why would a guy who has a publicly traded company come out without all the facts if this is real? Because I'm going to say this could be a fucking work, because I've seen WWE do this shit during the Attitude Era.
It ain't a
I
work.
don't think it is. I don't think it is. However, I've seen them do some pretty outrageous shit during the Attitude
I mean, but it's again, it's a different animal now.
Because this is a very, very negative. This is placing a very, very negative light on WWE right now in the publicities in like the public's eye.
I understand that.
Which is why I think that they're gonna ask Vince to step down, just because
Mm.
we live in cancel culture. We live in fucking cancel culture right now, and WWE
So
cannot have
everybody
this. They
give
can't
in to
condone this.
cancel culture.
I would say though, I do not think WWE's demographic, like for the most part, are hugely participant in that level of cancel culture. They're IWC geeks and they want to cancel people on the internet, but to actively do it, I don't know. And
I don't think any.
What I'm saying is,
All right, go ahead. No, go ahead.
what I'm saying is, because of the human resources aspect of it, there are certain laws that they need to follow in human resources, and one of them is a sexual harassment or sexual misconduct.
That is their job.
That's every company.
Which hasn't happened though.
Exactly.
yeah.
I understand that.
If it's not sexual harassment, like the thing is, you don't really have any legal grounds to stand on when you sign a disclosure agreement saying I agreed to these sexual acts, because then it's not harassment or anything like that. You're basically saying I cannot charge you for anything that happens after this part. It's
sexual misconduct in a power position. He was in a power position within a company.
It's bad PR, but I think the NDA might like stop. I will say though, I think he might actually. I think part of him going away from the CEO is also part of him needing to go away from being CEO of the company, and I can see him staying in that position.
That's how he wants to leave.
Vince isn't going anywhere.
No, but I don't know if he's going to be CEO moving forward. I don't know, like, cause by the time this clears up, legal shit takes forever. He's not getting any younger.
Well,
I don't think any.
Not only that, but we also have to.
And do you really want a 78-year-old when by the time this is fucking done being the lead of your company?
Well, here's the only thing I'll quickly. Oh God.
I was just gonna say, like, we have to remember that Vince, even though he stepped down as CEO right now, he is not away from the company. He still has control over creative.
He has control over everything, even though he's not the CEO. I can tell you that.
Even the board.
But like, what I'm saying is, let's just fucking say what the article fucking said. He has control over creative, which means he still has. I don't want to say a leg in the company, because the company is him, as you guys pointed out, but he's still within the company. He's not completely gone.
No, he won't be. He'll be dragged kicking and screaming from the company. The only thing. Oh God, Sergeant.
No, Connor, go ahead.
The only thing I would say is, and this is going to be a pretty maybe out there statement. If you take away everything from this whole thing, right? At the end of the day, Vince is obviously clearly not a saint by any stretch of the imagination. We can easily go through the laundry list of shitty things he's done. but he's also done some extremely. He is a genius businessman more than anything else. If you're looking at the positive lists of Vince, generally speaking, he's probably one of the best. I'd even go say like he's the best businessman of our generation, to be very honest, or top there.
He's a very good opportunist.
Hey, listen, I'm not.
Business is they take opportunity
Right.
on.
I mean,
what's
no,
going on in the
business is also maintaining what you gain, right? So there's that. I mean,
My
he's not.
volume's low?
Well, that's what Jurgen said. I have no idea.
Jurgen
But
said.
the point I'm
I don't know,
making
I
is
moved
that
my
like
mic closer, so hopefully it's better.
the point I'm making is that the board has to take into consideration, like, realistically, if Vince were to step down more so suddenly than anything else and like completely detach, that's not going to happen immediately. If Vince completely gets I don't think Vince is going anywhere. In fact, I think things are going to go right back to where they are in 6 months. I think nothing is going to change. I don't think Vince is going to be down as the CEO permanently. I think things will be in 6 months. Everything will be basically back to normal, unless something else gets uncovered that is a bombshell.
I can agree with what Jurgen said in the chat. John Laurinaitis is going to take the brunt of all of this.
He should.
yeah.
Agreed. He's fucked.
He's the fall guy.
Why should he? Hold on, JP. Why should he if Vince was also fucking the girl at the same time? Like, that's shared. That is equally shared there.
I said as you should. I didn't. The point is, anybody involved in this?
Like, why should he take the brunt of it if Vince was also?
I'm going to tell you why. Because I'm going to tell you why. Because John Laurinaitis will do it.
I'm going to tell you why. Because Vince is a fucking god, and everybody will throw their feet
Exactly
at Vince.
why he would do it.
I'll throw my feet all over Vince.
Yes. Otherwise, he wouldn't. That's all I'm saying. He's going to take the brunt of it because he thinks Vince is a shit.
Well, I mean, it's also like technically anytime in like big money business, there's always a fall guy, and it's not going to be the top of the food chain.
I was about to say
is.
there has to be a sacrificial lamb, basically. Yeah, and that's going to be him. They're going to have to use him as a sacrificial lamb for the.
They'll sacrifice him, and Vince will pay him off under the table.
How valuable this guy is.
Another NDA coming his way. But I did want to mention before we move on from this topic, because there's only so much you can really talk about it. When I said the reason Vince showed up on SmackDown, I almost 1000% believe it was to get a ratings bump and other eyes, because now it's something bigger than wrestling, and he's like, I gotta show up and we gotta put on a good show, and they put on a good show, and he showed up.
This is
and
where
was a rating
Vince
bump.
is a genius, because even in light of all of this negativity and all this stuff, he decided to show up to SmackDown. And what happened? All these people tuned into SmackDown. Oh, I can't wait what Vince has to say. That was what everybody was saying on Friday.
I mean,
I can't wait to hear what Vince has to say. So all these people are tuning in.
I looked up the figures, and it was 1.8 the week before, 1.8 million to 2.274 last SmackDown.
Of course.
So it did get a pretty good rating.
I will say this, and it was a ratings pop. Not only that, the main event was actually a pretty good match.
I think they literally put a lot of effort into making the show good, because they knew they'd have eyes on the product that weren't just wrestling fans.
Again, smart business move.
Yeah, you can't fault him for the way he takes advantage of when he can. He is a great businessman. And I think he only really went on TV for that, and knowing that he's got literally 100% chance of beating this.
He's
and
going
not
to.
being impacted by it, right? Like he wouldn't have done it otherwise. If it was so destructive, he wouldn't have showed up, because it was actually hurt the brand.
I was going to say too, and I'd like to think, with him being as smart of a businessman as he is, that he wouldn't do something as stupid enough as use company money for any of these NDAs, or if they're along these same like I like again.
I can't believe the salary bump. I can't. For that girl, it doesn't make sense to me unless it's coming out of Vince's pocket specifically on the side.
Maybe, but
like that, he couldn't do that either, because they said her salary jumped up, which means that's company.
But it's still not proven, from my understanding, though. Like it's a legit
possibly.
claim.
They had from what I understand, the board had evidence that she got this raise, at least, because the raise is going to be evident in company files.
No, if she got a raise with another thing added to her workload or a different title at work, then he's not stupid enough to just give her $100,000 of the company's money. It makes no sense.
Yeah.
I can't believe he'd falter there and cover his tracks everywhere else and be the businessman he's been today. But we'll see. I mean, we'll see what happens as it unfolds. If it unfolds in mainstream media, we'll see.
So Megzy just said, when you, I think she said, own the company, does it count as company money though? Not if it's coming out of his pocket.
Yeah,
Correct.
because WWE finances are still a company.
It's because money that comes out of his pocket.
Yeah,
that's not company's money.
There's still
no.
But here's the thing. WWE's money is separate from Vince's money. So it's different if Vince is paying with his money, as JP is saying. But if she got a salary raise through WWE, then they're going to have to prove that she deserved that salary raise, that jump of $100,000, whether she got a new title or new responsibilities, anything like that, because that is company money.
They can pay her whatever they want to be honest.
What's going to happen out of it though?
But I'm just saying, it was that I was describing to Megzy the difference, because they are very much different. Like the WWE has their own money, and then Vince is paid, even though he owns the company, he's technically paid on salary through the company as well, just like a regular CEO would be.
I mean, you can declare financial, basically personal bankruptcy, and then your business can go bankrupt, and one doesn't change the other. You know what I mean? Like you can have your business go bankrupt and still keep your personal money. The business is just dead.
Right.
But I don't know, man. In the end, I don't think much is going to come of it.
Oh, and I don't even think Tony Khan, not Tony Khan, but Nick Khan. Everybody was talking, he's the insider. He's the one. He's trying to tear Vince down from the inside. Why in the fuck would he want to destroy a company just to buy it?
It made no sense. It's first of all, it's not a strong enough power move to do anything. No. And the only way, in WWE, the only way Vince is giving up that fucking top seat, it's not going to be fucking Khan. It's not. It's going to be one of the other McMahons.
Yeah, it's going to be Stephanie.
It'll be Stephanie. If Stephanie's gone, it'll be friggin' Triple H or Shane.
Shane probably.
I don't know. Shane's apparently not in very good standings with his father, but anyway.
I think he'd still probably rather give it to someone that has the McMahon.
He'd rather give it to somebody in the family, yeah. But I think Triple H might have a little bit of a better go at it right now than Shane.
See, this is what I'm talking about. You guys talked about all the stocks that Vince sold over the years. How do you think he makes his money? He doesn't just, hey, I'm going to the goddamn WWE bank and say I'm going to take out $100,000 for myself. No, he's a stockholder, so he can sell or buy his stocks whenever the fuck he wants.
I don't think anybody was challenging that.
I know it's in the chat. He just said, "Have you guys talked?" He just said, "How have you guys talked about the stocks?" I mean, there's.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Yep.
WWE finances are it's always weird to me. I mean, anytime I see a company continually making a lot of money but not really having progress, the way you would translate to money, to me, then it's other avenues. It's usually investing in other stocks or diversifying, or they cut talent at times to get under that. They want to show good. They want to show well at the end of the year, end of the fiscal year, so that the everybody's happy. Every company does this. Yeah. They do layoffs. That's why everyone's like, "Whoa, they laid me off right before my Christmas bonus." Yeah, because they wanted to get their bonus.
Right.
It's a terrible way businesses run, and I think a lot of practices here have moved the fiscal year because of the bad taste in the mouth of people that get let go right at Christmas.
Well, the company that I worked for last year, they usually we run on a seasonal basis. So even though we have full-time employees, full-time employees often get laid off once the season is done, and the season is usually done by early to mid-December. So a lot of times most of the company is laid off, whether you're seasonal or full time. So they changed their fiscal year to, I believe it was sometime in, I want to say it was like February 20th or something like that. It was in end of January, early February.
Mine is well, it's March, but it's very early March because it doesn't really align with anything that's going to be very taxing financially. It's just basically for morale, company morale. But that's like in the end,
January,
WWE
because-
does it. Every fucking company does it, and a lot of people complain about it. I mean, like I don't understand. A lot of the times people get released. 95% of the times people are released in WWE, it's because they don't use them. And I'd be super dissatisfied at a job if I put all this work into training and being good in ring, or at least trying to develop into something, and the company just throws me to the side because they have nothing for me. And
right, you're in
that
catering
could
the
be,
whole time.
it could be a knock on the company, but they pretty much overstaffed. They gobbled up everybody so that other people can get them, and then they realized they couldn't do shit with them and let them go, especially when they created all these other platforms. I think originally they had plans to make NXT like seep into, remember it was going to be like, we have NXT UK, then there was talks of NXT North America happening. They had talks of like NXT cropping up in different parts of the world, and that didn't really work out once
Wait,
NXT
so-
started falling apart.
Just seen sorry, I just seen Heather's comment in the chat. So Kevin Dunn is in trouble as well for insider trading.
Yes.
It's a much worse crime than NDA
Yeah,
sex.
yeah.
That's actually like punishable by law.
You sit in
Yeah.
prison for that.
He's not gonna be given. Well,
He'll sit in some kind of fancy fucking golf course.
Kevin Dunn's just a glorified cameraman. Everybody realizes that, right?
yeah,
He's on the board of directors.
I'm gonna say Kevin Dunn, the one saving grace if he does go to prison. Nobody's gonna ask for a blowjob from this man.
I know, right?
This fucking
Oh my goodness!
the wood chipper, Kevin Dunn. Fucking hell, man.
My God.
Got the large ass teeth.
I just wanted to make that point too. And yes, that's Kevin Dunn insider trading. It's,
Oh my god. And there's no talk of that. That's the thing that they want to keep hush hush, if
Yep.
anything. Who knows?
Well, what
Maybe
is
they
it,
fucking
like,
signed it.
yeah.
So I'm confused. Did he sell his stocks right before this news of Vince came out, or?
No, he's been insider trading. I think I'm not going to look it up because
Basically
that's
making financial decisions with inside knowledge of the company and where they're going.
Which is why I was wondering if he found out this news of Vince and then sold some of his stocks.
So like I might be completely wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's, if I'm part of a company and I have the ability to make certain financial decisions or included in decisions made at a higher level, and I hear that the company is going to sell, and right now the stock prices are high, I sell all my stocks, and then because I know I have
Have prior
vision into the
knowledge,
future of what's going to happen with the company because I have insider knowledge. And I'm actually trading, right? So I believe that's what it is, but I am not smart.
I don't know. We could look
Okay,
at.
here's the thing. That confuses the shit out of me, right? Because you guys just said before Vince has stocks. Well, Vince is the fucking owner of the company, so obviously he has insider knowledge of the company. So how can he ever sell stocks if that's the case?
You can still sell. Okay, so you can still sell stocks because you have stocks.
Right.
You can sell them. I'm looking up insider trading because
I'm pretty sure it's when you know something is going to happen that'll affect the market, or you have the ability to have influence on that, and then you make a move.
Right, so, but you're missing my whole.
No, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
Insider trading is the trading of public company stock or other securities based on material non-public information about the company in various countries. So, yeah.
So, like, I get what where Vince might be not held accountable. It's probably public knowledge that's made that when he's selling his stock, they can't link it to anything that's financially taking place purposefully in the company to hurt the stock, right?
He basically has to wait to sell the stock until it, whatever it is, becomes public.
So if he doesn't tell everybody but keeps it to himself, that's insider trading.
Technically, I think like especially when it comes to stocks, like the only way to really make a huge amount of money on them is to have the market like drop and rise relatively drastically.
Or if you own a lot of stocks in, whatever.
The thing is, they're never going to look at Vince McMahon and look at like, oh, you sold one stock option that's worth fucking $45 and bought it back at 55. But if it's a huge amount and the fluctuation is huge, then it's like red flag.
Yeah, Heather just said a lot of people that are involved in the cryptocurrency and NFTs are getting hit with insider trading issues as well.
Well, that's where they should have fucking hit Elon Musk, man. The guy alone, like through not through inside knowledge of the actual company, and that's why they won't hit him with it. But he alone fucking had enough money, enough capital to change the trajectory of stock prices for certain coins, causing more people to buy in. So he bought in when it's a certain level. He made the stock price go all the way up, and then you sell. It's pure profit.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that should be illegal.
It should be illegal. There's a ton of things that should be illegal.
I want to thank you for joining economics today.
Yeah.
Connor's just like,
well, Connor came back.
On?
Connor left, so we went somewhere. Now he's back. We can continue with our daily programming.
To the best of my ability. But I think we've beaten the Vince McMahon story to death. So that being said, let's move on to something a little bit more.
Sasha Banks getting released.
Well, I was actually going to go with the Ezra Miller update.
I don't care.
Go with the Ezra Miller update. That's fine.
We'll come back to Sasha Banks right after. We kind of WWE'd right
now. I don't give a flying fuck about seeing Sasha Banks.
So apparently, we talked about this on, I think, either last week or a couple weeks ago, as far as Ezra Miller, running away with a teenager who apparently is being brainwashed. The 18-year-old did spoke out on a video saying, "This is my life. These are my decisions." For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, basically Ezra Miller is on this self-destructive path. Yeah, basically. Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Where he's bringing along with him an 18-year-old who I guess they're in a relationship with, and it's coming across as very brainwashed, based off of
kidnap an adult.
Well, here's the thing though with this guy, from what I understand anyway, he's been talking and coercing with this young girl and since she was like 16. Which is actually what he's in trouble for. Like, she's 18 now, but they have knowledge stating that like they had a relationship when she was only 16.
How old is Ezra Miller? His face doesn't look like it ever fully developed, so I don't know.
Can I ask another question? And this isn't me being a douchebag. How long is the statute of limitations on that?
I have no idea.
There is no statute of limitations in Hawaii for this.
Okay.
Right.
Is this all taking place in Hawaii? This man needs to be extradited.
Okay, here's the thing. Okay, first of all, Hawaii is part of the United States, so where are you going to extradite him to? Canada?
Send him to Ukraine. Fight the good fight,
Anyways,
Flash.
Okay, so like when they're in the states that there are statute of limitations, most of those states are 7 years, but the majority of states have gotten rid of statute of limitations for any type of sexual abuse whatsoever, whether that be rape or in this case it would be considered statutory rape.
Okay, gotcha.
I'll give him one thing. This is the first time in his crime spree where he's actually been the fastest man alive because they can't find him.
I fucking hate you.
I don't care for the guy anyway. He just seems like a whiny little bitch to me.
Yeah.
He has a screw loose, man. Like, there's something wrong with this guy. I don't know if he's on drugs or what.
That's
life.
That's fucking Hollywood for you. Them fuckers are batshit fucking crazy out there.
Well, this guy's like fucking. You gotta be like he's an adult. I don't know how old he is. He's got to be in his 20s, maybe even 30-year-old.
As a result of all this in conjunction with his arrests and everything that had been gone public in Hawaii, DC more specifically Warner Brothers have basically said that after the Flash movie, he is not going to be involved in any other DC projects going forward. Which that makes sense. The reason they can't obviously get him out of the Flash movie, even though it hasn't been released yet, is because he's like the main star, and so to be able to recast or like even do anything like that at this point would push back and just kind of
Well,
like.
and haven't they?
Good?
Sorry, Connor. Haven't they already like filmed it too? So they'd have to completely
much
refilm it.
Most, yeah. If they were to do anything at this point, it would be like the deep fakes, and it would just be, well, we've seen how those go sometimes.
When is this supposed to come out?
I don't know. They did a good job on Fast 7 with
I
Paul Walker.
believe
They
it was
deep faked
pushed
him, but he also had a brother
to-
that looked like him.
I want to say it was pushed to March.
Well, man, they're gonna want to push it back a bit further. Who the fuck's gonna want to watch a Flash starring fucking child rapist Ezra Miller? I don't know.
Okay, so Heather in the chat, she clarified. She said, yeah, they say that he kid. Yeah, but she said that she can't talk because of Wendy. Oh, there you are. Okay, I didn't see you on the screen, so I thought you were in the other room.
You can read it.
Okay, she said, they say that he kidnapped her and has kept her ID, phone, and keys away from her.
Yeah,
So he's basically preventing her from leaving.
yeah.
They know.
We
can't find him.
We do. It's okay. I forget. We can't find him. This guy.
It's okay.
But we know what he's doing at all seconds. We have no idea where the fuck he is,
Listen,
but we know how many phones he's got in his
he's just-
pocket.
Listen, he's just running. He's running so fucking fast that he's just become invisible. They can't see him.
He's in a Flash
He's
onesie.
running circles around him.
This guy. The thing that we see in the chat. We for our stories and stuff. I kind of wanted to read some, and then I read some of them. Like, I'll give my 2 cents, but you know what? I was reading the picture that they had. Is he a fairy? It's just
He is non-binary, and he prefers to be called they.
no. I mean, AIRY, as in a like a fairy
Pretty sure
godmother. It's okay, Connor. You know what I'm saying.
We're pretty sure that we don't refer to that as fairy.
I don't know. Would it be like they're looking for they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Or them.
Mind
They're looking
blowing.
for them. They're looking for them.
Well, they are
Yeah,
technically
we're
looking for them. It's 2 people, but
The plural, or them is the plural.
Well, basically,
it'd
all
be so confusing
like
from like a fucking
non-bi-
certain
but
standpoint.
non-binary. Not really, because non-binary means that they don't identify as a male or a female. So a lot of them use the term they because
do
they
you
don't want to
think-
be called he and they don't want to be called she.
But do you think the police are out there saying we're looking for a non-binary individual? No, we're looking for them. How many of them are there?
Right?
They're one of they. It's like you're fired.
I meant like a fairy godmother. I wasn't saying that he was a fairy. I don't know if he likes it in the butt. I don't ask. I don't care.
Oh my god, okay, first of all, we don't refer to that as fairyism anyway.
Fairyism?
Good god, where are we going
worse.
with this?
It's getting worse.
Oh, when I was. I'm not going to continue because we're going to go down a rabbit hole and I don't want to.
Yeah, let's not.
Oh,
Connor!
Heather, real quick, I know you were bouncing back and forth because of Wendy. I didn't get a chance to. Did you chime off on the Vince McMahon stuff at all, as far as your general thoughts about the whole thing?
This is going to blow over because Kevin Dunn's insider training is going to become the bigger story because it's an actual criminal act.
Right.
So,
shit, yeah, it is Pride Month, JP, you fuck.
Hey,
Yeah,
look,
I
wasn't trying to be mean. No, it really wasn't. Don't
Let me just clarify. Let me just clarify. We love LGBTQ plus here at Horny Goat Wrestling.
I don't know about the
we really
plus.
I do until
You
they
shut
get
up.
in my face.
I can't wait till they add a minus
what?
symbol to that fucking thing.
Okay, JP, that's midgets for you. Shush.
Everybody for me. Go ahead.
Sorry, Heather.
I was done anyway.
I can tell when she's done.
Okay.
And it's literally all the
Oh
time.
my god. Okay. Let's. Yup.
All right, what's next? Give me something good and juicy.
All right, how about
God.
let me switch the gears here. How about we talk about I guess should we talk about real fast? Like I know Gina doesn't watch, but the latest episode of Obi-Wan Kenobi? Should we just briefly touch upon that? I don't know about you guys. Favorite episode, bar none.
Yes.
I think me and Basement Talk last night, we're probably gonna have a discussion. But I watched it again today, stone sober.
Mm-hmm.
It works for me. This story does. Because see, he's saying, well, Basement said her character sucks now. Because what were we talking about last night, Basement, when it came
We're talking about like some of the writing inconsistencies more than the action. Everything was done great. The choreography was good, and the background on the two main characters is good. And the problem I had is just like some things were done for pure dramatic, and not, like there's no sense put into the writing. Like, why bring a big fucking gun to shoot a door for 10 hours if you can just lightsaber right through it? And that's what they end up doing, you know?
That I agree with, but the whole argument was over
And Reva taking her sweet ass, or Reva basically befriending Vader to hunt Obi-Wan to get Vader. And I think we came to a consensus on that, where like she probably wants to kill Obi-Wan as well.
Okay, so I can speak on that. He was able to read her mind and make her change her mind.
Well, that's not explained at all.
Yes, it is. Because remember when they were talking on the other side and he figured out who she was? She was that little girl that we see.
Oh, you're talking about Obi-Wan Kenobi. No, he convinces her.
Yes, that's exactly. Yeah. He broke her mind. He was able to read her, do Jedi mind tricks on her to make her. They made Darth Vader look like an idiot at the end of this, though.
But like while Vader is fucking trying to pull down the spaceship, that's your time to stab him in the back. Not wait until he's done everything and slowly walk up and yell before you do it.
Great. No more distractions.
Now it's time to surprise him.
Either way.
Still the best episode of the series. And these are nitpicks more than anything. The fucking fight scenes.
It's the same thing, but it can be explained, but it can't be explained. It's so fucked up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just it's not the best written show, but the things it gets right, it does really well.
The people are clamoring for a lot of not lightsaber fights, but confrontation with stormtroopers, and you're getting a lot of that in this episode. You did in this episode. I think people clamor for that shit.
I'm still waiting for
the big space battle.
Fish in a barrel, and they missed every single one. Well, they shot one in a robot. They shot a couple in a robot.
They shot a few, but
I think that this was not just the best episode because everyone's like, oh, we need fucking flashbacks, and we finally got one. But they did it the right way in conjunction with the story they were trying to tell in that episode.
Mm-hmm.
Love
the flashback
love
you
that.
really want. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
love that.
Obi-Wan is, like I said, Obi-Wan's powers are now coming full circle because he's starting to sense when something is wrong. So his senses are coming back to him. And now he's hiding it because he knows what's going to happen. Because I can tell you what's going to happen next. You want me to tell you? I'll spoil it. I don't care. Reva's going to go to fucking Tatooine and go looking for Luke.
Yeah, she found the fucking thingy at the end. She heard enough of it to go there.
So he somehow, because everybody knows, already know where the story goes. They get away essentially with not. I can tell you where this is going. They're not going to be. Vader's not going to sense them. I guess is what the whole point is, because if he finds out, because if he paid attention, if he finds out and senses one of those kids, we're all fucked.
Way that Vader can go to Tatooine and not sense Luke, in my opinion. So
Vader's not going. I don't think Vader's going to Tatooine.
It can't happen.
No. Reva is going to go because she is going to.
She'll find Luke in fucking what's his face, Santiago Ortana,
right?
Whatever. I don't know what his name is.
Yeah, what's gonna?
What's his name?
What should happen? What could happen? Huh?
What? Who are you talking about on Tatooine?
The guy, no, fucking,
Oh, the
who's
senator.
gonna go there?
Senator.
Yeah, what's his
yeah,
name?
Okay.
Senator
Organa.
Palpatine? Oh,
Organa.
Bail Organa? He's
Yeah.
on Alderaan.
Yeah, but he said he's going to go to Tatooine if he doesn't hear back, right? So
Right.
he'll meet them there.
Her plan, and this is me thinking, her plan is to get Luke, goat Obi-Wan in showing up, and then having Darth Vader. You know, she got Obi-Wan, and then he finds out, and that's where they're going. That's her thought
Really
process.
don't hope they involve any interaction with Luke and Vader.
No, they can't. They can't, because if he finds out, then everybody's done.
But they might like tease an interaction, and then Obi-Wan leaves with Luke or some shit, which I hope doesn't happen. But
it can't happen. That's what I'm saying. It can't happen, and if it does, then we have a problem.
yeah, then it won't make any sense.
Because then it kills off episodes.
It kills off everything. Because Darth Vader would have just killed everybody, and then taken the two kids and been, guess what, Emperor, I'm taking you over. It would have been a whole different world. It might have gone back, but you know what I mean.
The best episode of the series, in my opinion. The choreography between the flashback fight was incredible, and just the pure fucking big dick energy from Vader at the end.
Yeah, the one problem that I will have, and it's a nitpick for me, is I would have at least tried to make Hayden Christensen look just a little bit younger.
He's got some cheek folds going on.
Yeah, I didn't. I looked past that.
For me, it's a nitpick. I think they could have, with technology, they could have cleaned something.
And look at how well they did Luke.
But also part of like Hayden Christensen is aging at a high rate, just part of his face. He looks like a kid with like old man cheeks.
Yes,
Yeah.
He's getting the jowls.
So that's my only real nitpick. But I enjoyed the interaction between them two. It explains everything you need to know in a sense as to why Vader does or acts the way he does, because he is so hell-bent on winning that that's part of the reason why he turned to the dark side, and he just hasn't stopped because he can figure out a way to win. It's a long story.
Why didn't he like? I know she said she like hid beyond. She hid in the dead bodies, but he would have known she's still alive.
Well, or maybe, or if he
with how powerful she's being presented to be now.
Who? Leia?
Reva.
Oh,
No, but Reva's not that powerful now.
Reva was trained by Darth Vader because she's an
No,
Inquisitor.
he's talking about in the temple when she was hiding from the Inquisitors.
in theory, he should have been able to sense her even if she was still alive.
I know he's just
sensitive,
but he might have left, and this doesn't go with order. It's to kill them all. Stabbing them once doesn't necessarily.
Listen, he's doing a drive-through. He's doing a drive-through thing, like just drive by, like and then I'm out. I got things to do. I got to meet the Emperor, and like
kill a couple younglings, drink a couple yinglings.
But this episode was a lot faster, a lot smoother. Yes, last week's was really slow.
The pacing of this was better.
Like I said, it's filler, but it's not filler, but it's filler. This one moved pretty quick, I thought.
I mean, the one good thing that this show is doing, and that's giving us more Vader, because we need that's the one thing I would say we need a bit more of, like, and a bit more, like, we have had cool scenes of Vader in other shows, but this is a bit more growth for a character. We all know where he ends up, but those originals didn't really shine too much of a light on him either.
Right.
I mean, this show gave us the insight into exactly how powerful Darth Vader actually is.
Yeah.
A lot of people new to the Star Wars franchise have no fucking clue what this boy can do.
Right.
I mean, to be fair, if their knowledge is just the main movies or even seeing the main movies, and we talked about this a little bit before, where like it's not that the brevity of the weight of Vader's power is not seen until like that's definitely in this show for sure.
So 4, 5, and 6. Episodes 4, 5, and 6. Everybody, I've had seen a couple of people say that 4, 5, and 6, how could they make him look so frumpy? And I'm like, dude, it was 1970s when they made this shit. It's like, come on, you just need to enjoy the story because it does take place. What happens between him and Obi-Wan some 20 years later, and we also have to remember that he has no arms and no legs, so he's half robot. So he isn't, but he moves really quick in this movie. Like
walked like fucking speedrunner at the mall or speedwalker.
Darth Vader, when they had in 1970s, they had a different concept where he moved slow and methodical.
It was just for power purposes, like to show him as a powerful.
He became so, but I think he became so in tune with the Force by then that he could just be methodical and walk around like Jason Voorhees. I'm gonna get you eventually, so you might as well just stand there and take it. Just his wavering and how quickly Darth Vader moves in the lore of Star Wars. Darth Vader is that powerful.
Right, but I'm saying is I'm glad they're showcasing it because
Yes, that's what I mean.
Right. Speaking of Star Wars, I guess this is a good pivot point. Apparently, a very popular actor is looking to be part of Star Wars. There was an article about Hugh Jackman wanting to be part of.
Chris Evans too. Chris Evans said the same thing.
Yes, I did
he
see
wanted
that.
to be part of the Stormtrooper. I just want to be part of Star Wars.
He just wants that energy.
They better write that ship before they fucking start including big names because the last 3 movies.
So apparently, Hugh Jackman says he's in talks to join Star Wars, and you're right. Chris Evans said in an interview that he would like to be in Star Wars. So it looks like the rumor is, sources didn't say, according to the article, exactly which series he's poised to join, though there are some intriguing possibilities.
What?
This fucking gif.
What? Wait, what are you talking about?
God.
What?
I hope he can play Jar Jar Binks.
Go ahead. What's he gonna do? He's just in talks with.
Well, so Hugh Jackman is coming in talks to being part of the Star Wars universe, but it's just not fleshed out yet as far as his specific role or where he's going to land up. A lot of people think Mando, because we've seen a lot of pretty relatively big names in or heard some big names in Mando. Some people think Andor. There's a bunch of different possibilities.
He's going to be on the Andor show.
I will say this right now. Old Republic.
He could, yeah.
I think he might be one of the people in Old Republic because then that's going to be a series of movies. I think. Yeah. I don't think it's going to be a series. I think it's a movie.
He's such a big name that I can guarantee that I can't guarantee. I can agree with JP more than anything.
I can see him doing other things in the Star Wars world.
He hasn't done any TV, has he?
No.
Ever?
He's been on Saturday Night Live, but and he started as Australian TV actor. So
didn't he get sick,
yeah, he had
he just fought the reemergence of cancer.
Right. So I know he's been sick, but yeah.
He's still in fucking awesome shape though.
Yeah, he is. My body's going fucking south on me here. I might fucking face.
I wish your body would go south on me.
I mean, as long as you're not doing the GIF, I think you're in good standing, JP.
He should have been in the Baywatch remake. Look at that.
Yeah, I don't know what remake that I would want to watch on that one. But anywho, switching gears here. I'm not sure who suggested this article story about what I believe is the first ever known recorded history of a dick pic.
It looks like poop to me.
What's that?
Oh.
You put that in there?
Oh, well, there you go. So this article says that an ancient Roman dick pic reveals a 1,700-year-old grudge carved into stone. I can't make this up. Archaeologists were recently snooping around the site of Vindolanda, a Roman fort just south of Hadrian's Wall in northern England and discovered a curious remains of a personal feud that unfolded in 3rd century CE. Among the rubble, they discovered a stone that had been crudely engraved with a penis, along with an insult directed towards another person, quote, Secundus the Shitter, it reads.
So it was poop.
I mean, it could be.
I think you probably called him butt fucker.
The archaeologist, well,
We called him.
Wasn't that like everybody back then?
the archaeologist noted that the lettering in the penis symbol is deeply engraved in the hard stone, suggesting an ancient scroller took time to forge their work of art. I don't know. I'm gonna try and see if I can see if I can copy the image here, just so we can showcase it on the stream here.
You're
because
telling me.
Yes, I'm
Yeah.
telling you.
Oh, you're telling me that the dick was hard as rock.
well,
It's basically.
Birthday cake.
Hey, I hate you guys for making me sit through 10 minutes of fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi shit.
Hey, you could have joined in on the fucking last topic of Hugh Jackman's.
Obi-Wan Kenobi? Like, no.
No, Hugh Jackman's
Also-
playing someone in Star Wars.
I don't like Hugh Jackman. Fuck that. Chris Evans, on the other hand,
You don't like Hugh Jackman?
down.
He wants to be a
Nah.
Star Wars too.
yep, they both do.
Why don't you like Hugh Jackman?
Birthday cake.
It's not that I don't like him. It's just he's not my favorite.
You said you didn't like him, so I hate you.
I didn't
He's a
say I
natural
didn't like him.
treasure
I
of
said I didn't
Australian.
care. I'm not fucking from Australia, so what the fuck would I care?
That is Ibuki.
With that at the end?
Yeah, it could be. It could be a shit. I'm not gonna lie. Let's well, unless it had another ball.
I think everybody's taking it. All I see is I can see why don't you take your cack out? That's all I got.
I don't see the penis, to be honest with you. I mean, I can sort of see it, but I don't think I don't
If anything,
What does the fucking
don't want-
words mean?
I don't want to see you eat fish then, JP. I really don't want to see that.
see me. What?
Does anybody know
wasn't-
what the words mean?
No, I did not see. I did not get a translation from the article. I don't believe. Other than it went to the shitter. That's all I got out of it.
It could be a piece of shit. Then again, I'd rather someone like the first recording of a shit drawing.
That's pretty good. I'm gonna say.
The first ever poop emoji.
That's probably what it's more in line with. So, I mean, I see it. I'm just saying is I see more of the. This is what we're spending more time on than anything else, I guess, on this show. But
I mean,
anyway.
I see the dick, but I can also see it being poop.
Right, that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, it looks like a fucking dinosaur embryo now.
Well, it's Begsy. It's not a fucking drawing of Lance Armstrong.
There's a whole testicle.
What?
You don't see that.
I see
got one
one
nut.
whole testicle and half a testicle on the end here. Right here.
There's, I can see the testicle,
We
and
need John-
there's
we need-
a half a nut.
We need John Madden with like a Sharpie. So this where you see
thing is-
here.
That half a nut could
Gentlemen,
also just be
do we
the
need
end
to give you a
of
few
the
minutes
picture.
so you can pull your pants down and remind yourself what a penis and a nut looks like?
I'm putting my pants down right now.
And it looks exactly like that.
Please don't do that.
I mean, okay,
We're good.
so I'm looking at it and it looks like an uncircumcised penis.
Which is what
Yeah, but like-
However,
Yeah.
however,
Were they cutting
When-
dicks back then?
it could be a piece of shit
Well, then again, you can have a
fish.
penis.
I mean, if it's going to this guy known as
Wow.
the which, by the way, I just loved how it's called like eat. It looks like it's like eat poop. I mean, if it's going for a guy named the Shitter, I mean that I'm more inclined to believe.
I'm more interested in the storyline of whoever drew it.
I want to find
Like,
out.
is he like? Does he
Take
love
time.
shit or does he love cock? Maybe
This
he loves
is the
both.
land of orgies.
It
That-
is wrong.
It's like such a good piece of
The land
art.
Orgies in that those famous
It's-
like that.
It's a good piece of art.
Yeah, because it can be interpreted in multiple ways.
Yeah, I think it's worth billions.
not
I
wrong.
wouldn't.
Ready?
Necessarily
Okay,
buy
why are we spending so much time talking
Because it's
about this?
fascinating. It's fascinating,
Imagine
Gina.
the man spending hours carving this into rock. All of his friends, what are you doing? You'll see. You'll fucking see. You'll all see.
They're to
As he
say,
grinds it into
"You'll
the
all
stone.
see my genius."
Eat shit, motherfuckers.
And he goes, turns over and eats a pile of shit.
What are you doing? Refueling my inspiration. Oh man! All right, so this we'll switch gears to a little bit more, I guess, more positive news. You guys heard about the John Cena?
Positive?
Well, I mean, the John Cena article about him actually, granting a wish to meeting someone who is who fled from Ukraine. Did you guys hear about this?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did see. I think I saw this on like TikTok or Instagram or something, where basically, Misha is a Ukrainian teenager who has Down syndrome, is also nonverbal. When the family was forced to flee during the Russian invasion, the boy didn't understand why they had to leave their home. To make him feel better, his mom told him that they had to travel across Europe in order to meet John Cena. The pro wrestler turned actor is a personal hero of Misha, and it comforted him as they crossed borders. It was one of those lies that you never expected to come true, except that it really did. On a viral video, Twitter, Cena surprised Misha with a special appearance at the home the family is staying at outside of Amsterdam, and on Saturday in early June, Cena got out of the car and walks up to Misha and gives him a big hug. I mean, this is why he's like one of the best guys out there. I mean, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it.
Is this the video of the kid that was playing soccer or something like that when he showed up?
I
have
don't
no idea.
think he was. I don't believe I saw him playing soccer.
I was just wondering because I saw one on TikTok too. I'm sorry, that one was the Special Olympics one, because he showed up recently. He showed up to Special Olympics tryouts or something like that for one of his biggest fans too. So I got the stories. Got him mixed up. Sorry.
He was there to compete.
I'm not laughing.
Is Champ there?
Who's Champ?
No. all you hear is dun 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 dun.
Who's a cinnamon roll in person?
Juan
I
Cena.
was just gonna say something that's gonna get us fucking cancel cultured in a second, so I will not say it.
She's referring to Cena.
Yeah, but what's he referring to? His cinnamon roll? He's a cinnamon roll, but I don't understand what that means.
Got a lot of
Like a
cream
marshmallow
on the tip.
Oh, he's a fluffy? He's a fluffy guy?
Whatever. He's the best human being alive, okay? I don't care what anybody says. He's a saint.
Shit like that when
He
I
should be sainted.
Okay.
He should be sainted like Mother Teresa.
He is a fucking amazing human being though. Like because he just
I love Cena. He's
the Make-A-Wish stuff that he does in general is just amazing because he goes above and beyond what most athletes or famous people
Every
do,
single person ever. If I
Right.
get sick, I know who I'm calling for.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't he still hold the record for like the most Make-A-Wish
by like
kids?
a country
had it?
mile. The guy holds it by like 200.
he's a pretty good guy, man. I mean, and then Megzy says he's sweet. Got it. He's a sweet guy. He's
Also, he's like
never gonna happen. But John Cena, if
controlling.
you hear this, if you ever hear this, God bless you, sir. Bless you.
I love you. I wish you'd show up randomly to my house.
He's special needs too, basement over here.
Super special. And I got so many needs. So many fucking needs.
So how did John Cena? My question is, how did John Cena? How did John Cena know he was flying in from the Ukraine?
They probably got blown up on social media in some way. Unless.
Also,
Yeah.
Was the kid able to see him?
He couldn't talk to him, but he could see him.
Oh, but he was able to see him though.
I hate you. Now you've made my child blind, John Cena.
Oh my god.
I don't have anything more to say on John Cena. He's just
I
love the guy. He's one of the reasons why wrestling is still popular today. I don't care what anybody says. People can say
he carried that shit.
He's
carried
still
that shit for years.
Carrying it.
He'll
Yeah,
talk
well, I mean-
about he's coming back. Next
Well,
week.
yeah, he's always gonna be super impactful. Just like, well, I don't think there's anybody else in wrestling that has been as impactful for more than wrestling. And I'm not talking about like media
Correct.
shit. Like the stuff that he
Right.
does that is small and not for recognition. Even though it gets recognized, it's gonna get
No.
recognized. I mean, there's a point in time where you can hang up your hat
Here's the
on that.
thing. One thing that I will always respect about John Cena is even when he stepped foot into Hollywood and he kind of stepped away from WWE, he came out and he blatantly said, yes, I might be making movies now, but WWE is always going to be my home. This was literally what made me, so I will never turn my back on this. And I will be
Right.
back. He has proven that.
Well, with his hard work and not getting where he is and doing everything he needs to do, WWE made John Cena.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
But I also feel like John Cena.
What? But you see Hulk Hogan. I mean, yes, he's one of those guys. WWE made him. He realizes that. The ones that worry me are the Rocks. Yes, the Rock will always be the WWE, but he won't be there. He's one of those guys, personally, to me.
I do feel like John Cena. Like I look at John Cena, I look at The Rock, and I think with their work ethic and no matter what, whether it was wrestling or not, they would have been.
They were going to crush whatever the hell they were going to do.
Yeah, whatever they were going to do. There's only a handful of guys like that. No, less than a handful.
Mm.
So for everybody hating, Brock Lesnar's another guy.
Well, Brock
You
Lesnar
know,
doesn't need to
I have-
love WWE because he
Here's
would
the
have been
thing.
huge regardless.
I have so much respect for John Cena and even The Rock, because yes, The Rock has pretty much gone mainstream Hollywood. You know, I mean, we seen him at what was that WrestleMania like 5-6 years ago with Ronda Rousey.
Oh.
But that was the last time we seen him, and then it hadn't been a long time before that. But he still gives his props out to the WWE. John Cena, he is always thanking the WWE for getting him started and giving him his career. So I have a lot of respect for somebody that never forgets what made them or where they come from.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, The Rock might not be as involved post WWE career as John Cena's been, but he'll never badmouth the WWE, and he'll acknowledge where he came from anytime it's asked, right? You know what I mean?
I'm not saying
They're both outstanding guys. They both seem like not real human beings because they're way better than I could ever be at everything.
Yep.
The Rock has made trips to the performance center and given talks to the students there, especially when his daughter was there.
Well, that's why WWE will say, well, the people on social media will jump on there and say the only reason he does that is because his daughter is there. I don't think he cares about WWE.
He was doing that.
I'm going to tell you right now, WWE made The Rock, with The Rock's hard work and ethic. Brock Lesnar, same thing.
Stone Cold too.
Well, and you know,
Steve Austin, like all the really huge characters,
we all love.
All
Yeah.
these other fucktards don't.
I mean, I also put like Roman Reigns in that category because he's gonna end up there. I can pretty much guarantee it.
Well, and you know, like with the Rock, I don't think that we're gonna necessarily see him in a WWE ring by any means, but you know, once his daughter starts. I mean, yeah, you don't know. But once his daughter gets up to like the level where she'll be on, you know, Raw, SmackDown, whatever, he will be in the audience. I guarantee you, we will see him at least in the audience.
Probably work a program with her in some way. I can see that happening. I mean, The Rock's no spring chicken, and eventually he'll slow down on.
Have you seen him? He sure as fuck looks like a spring chicken. He looks like all the fucking chicken. God, that man is so hot.
I think he eats.
Do a flip.
Fetuses.
So hot.
He is, but he's 50 years old and his face is like melting.
His
face still looks amazing.
His face shows his age. His body is like a fucking mountain man.
Wait, we still talking about Cena or?
They're both the same, man. Their faces are old because they ate fucking babies.
The one for Cena I will never ever not laugh at is John Cena is morphing into Ernest.
Listen, that's true.
He does have Ernest face, but he's like muscular Ernest.
Bird.
If anybody out there is looking for a John Cena movie that you haven't seen, if you have not seen, they call it Blockers now, but it was originally called Cock Blockers. That movie is fucking hilarious. And we watched another one with John Cena recently. What was it?
We watched Peacemaker. We watched Cock
Oh,
Blockers.
Peacemaker
and
was
we watched
hilarious.
Peacemaker's great.
There's one on Hulu, and I can't fucking remember what the name of it is, but it was fucking hilarious. So if you have Hulu and you go and you search up John Cena, there's a newer movie that he's in, and it's really fucking funny. I highly suggest watching it.
John Cena has that comedy. He can do comedy.
God, he's so funny in this new one that I had watched. I was actually going to tell you guys about it, but it's called Vacation Friends.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
I don't think we watched that. Did we?
Hilarious. Sorry?
I don't think we watched. I didn't watch that.
No, I watched it, and I was going to tell you guys about it if you hadn't seen it, but oh my God, you got to see it. It's so funny. Anywho, sorry.
JP, you gotta start eating babies.
No.
So on that note, no.
That's the long way around.
I thought he was going somewhere, and then I knew where he was going. But yeah, I guess we're fucking
I don't know what
Next
done
topic.
with Juan Cena. Hit us with your best
All right.
shot.
Next up, then, I guess to smoothly transition. Oh, look, you can't see him anymore. Netflix apparently is looking to get a live reality show version of Squid Games.
Oh my God.
Yeah. But no
It's
say hi.
It's not.
Yeah, then it's shit.
Nobody's
Okay, what happens in these Squid Games?
Everybody dies.
the show. Everybody dies.
JP would love
The
it.
basic premise
First
of it
of all-
is if you
Hold on.
the basic premise of Squid Games is these people have serious debts to pay off, and so they enter into this survival game to win money to pay off those serious debts. Now
Fair
the
enough.
premise is
And if
with every game you play, if you do not follow the rules,
Or if
you
you don't
end up getting killed.
Basically, if you don't
Yes.
win,
it's basically
in the show.
if you break the rules at all, or if you don't win, you're gonna die.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
no.
And they're simple games. But this is
the
why the
thing.
show's gonna suck.
This is
The
the
actual
thing.
like it's gonna be terrible.
You put something like this into reality, and yes, I realize that murder is frowned upon. Okay, I realize that. But if you don't have like the one thing in it that makes Squid Games, then it's basically just Survivor.
But if they collect people that have massive debt and still do it,
And then
it could
kill
still
them.
be okay. No, they don't not kill them, but they lose, and they like it still would have a level of entertainment because at least somebody is getting money that needs it.
This kind of reminds me of the George Carlin thing about how to balance the budget. I don't know if you guys ever heard that rant where he's like, "Oh, you just do public executions and stuff like that."
I love George Carlin so much.
Good Game is actually a pretty good show, man.
That-
So anybody that hasn't
I'm actually watching his documentary as we speak.
Good Games
I
documentary.
still gotta watch that. No, George Carlin
I
one.
know.
The American Dream. George
Yeah.
Carlin, American Dream.
Eat some babies.
I don't remember where I watched him on, but one of my streaming services, it was either Tubi or Peacock, one of them had a shit ton of George Carlin stand-up specials, and I sat one day and I watched all of them.
They are good.
My favorite thing with George Carlin, though, is it's by far one of my favorite movies ever, Dogma. I love it.
Yeah. He's going to change what Jesus looks like, and it's the thumbs up Jesus.
Buddy Christ.
Yes.
George
That's like
Carlin.
actually one of the only shows. Sorry.
I'm going to kill you, Gina.
Go ahead, JP. Sorry. Well,
After Squid
first of
Games
all,
with Gina.
we started-
You're fine. I'm just high. George
I'm gonna
Carlin.
kill you too, so it's okay.
She did it again.
Good Games. Squid Games.
Son
Yes,
of a-
I
We got our
did.
first
Go
two
for it.
competitors.
So George Carlin, and we'll get back on topic because I'm seeing the dental floss thing going. So,
Oh shit! Now I know what you're talking about.
That's
he's
just
having-
called the plot, not
having-
the
George Carlin.
He's having dentist flashbacks.
The thing about George Carlin is you get like that shit. He See, I'm paying attention. Nobody else is. The thing about George Carlin is he was not one side or the other. If you were fucking up, he would. His jokes were based on actual reality, and it's what's missing in comedy today because nobody can fucking do it.
No, you can't talk about reality. It's illegal.
But what were we talking about?
Not
Netflix.
reality.
The real life Squid Games. I mean, I think they could make them entertaining, but I think they're obviously just milking the shit out of the franchise.
First of all,
Obviously,
it better be all Koreans. Second of all, they all have to be in debt. Third of all,
are.
at least all of them have to
it's
die.
not Squid Games. You
Yeah,
have to kill somebody because because otherwise
There
it's
has to
not
be
Squid Games.
There must be death.
Wait, time out. Okay, hold on. Here's what I need to know though. Hold on.
What, JP?
But here's
Hold on,
what I
Gina? Whoever's talking.
No. What?
Someone speak.
Okay,
What?
but here's the thing. Is this supposed to be American? Would you guys shut the fuck up? I'm gonna kill you all. Is this supposed to be an American-based game show, or is it a Korean game show?
It didn't say.
I didn't say.
American.
I would
Because
probably assume it's American.
Listen, I'm just gonna say if it's Korean-based, I wouldn't be surprised if it was an actual Squid Games.
Well, if it's American, it should
Have
be
you ever
called
seen
Foursquare.
those Asian game shows? Have you ever seen those Asian game shows? Like, they are fucking crazy.
If you had like Whiplash or
I
whatever.
love them. I love them.
They have some of
But-
those, they have some of those game shows where they have these horse come in and masturbate them.
Oh my god,
Wait,
yeah.
wait, what?
Yeah,
What?
There
Wait,
is,
what- wait, did he say a
They
horse
also
comes
had-
in and they masturbate them?
Whores. Like whores.
Oh, yeah, that's.
That was
I mean, what's the difference?
Excuse me.
I'd like to order a
Yeah,
horse,
but-
sir. Is that a
There
horse
was-
or a whore?
There's another game show where like these guys actually had plungers stuck up their ass and they had to go around on the floor and like fucking pick stuff up
What are
off
you
the floor with
watching?
a fucking plunger. Listen, I don't know what rabbit hole I went down
horse.
one night. But
How
went
did you
down
get
a
to ass
rabbit hole.
plungers? Ass
No,
plungers.
okay, I was-
horsing around.
I looked up Japanese game shows because somebody had told me about some Japanese game show, and I found a video of this shit, and it was it scarred me.
ooh ee ah willy wally bang
I
bang.
mean, you'd make a lot of money doing the most ridiculous
Listen.
game show in the world, and then you'd be fucking fined and sued and killed, probably for airing it.
The only
Yeah, I
question
believe that the plunger one was the Japanese one, but
the only question I have is who wants to watch people die on TV in real life though? So why would you? Well, I mean, I don't disagree with your hand being up there.
Disagree with your opinion, which means
No,
you
no.
agree with watching people die on air.
I just don't know how that. I mean, I get it. I don't know what Netflix is trying to fucking do.
They're trying to greenlight every fucking project that
They're
comes across
milking-
their
they're
desks.
milking
trying
as-
to stay alive.
Yeah, they're milking as many franchises as they possibly can. So I'm not
Why
surprised
don't you
by
just
this,
release a second season of Squid Games and go from there?
because that would make sense. I
But
mean, I
what
think
else
it-
could you do?
I think like makes you say. I think in Kunta like Wipeout, I think it would be pretty fun if they were able to do something similar. But yeah, I mean, without that the core aspect of like the brevity and weight of like the game's importance, then it just kind of
Well, it'll
it doesn't
be
have the
another.
same.
It'll be another fucking Love Island or whatever the fuck those shitty ones are. Temptation Land.
well,
That
literally
shit,
to me, it sounds
gonna be
like
that.
it sounds like a new version of Survivor. It sounds
the
well,
same.
not really Survivor, but yeah. I mean, I don't know, but
like
it could
Squid
be
Games
fun.
was like-
It could be fun because like, but I mean, you look at like Wipeout or Ninja Warriors, and all those were like Asian game shows before they became American.
Squid Games is like
The fuck are we talking?
games for kids with horrible. We're gonna see a bunch of adults being like, "Yeah, I slept with Jonesy last night." It's like, now cut this cookie. What the fuck? It just doesn't work for me, man. I don't know. Good luck is all I'm gonna say. Netflix is like,
Well, we'll see how
how
it
can
goes.
we get bankrupt faster?
Yep. Agreed.
Onwards, McDuff.
Right.
Oh, the next one is a fun thing about everyone's favorite Sleepy Joe, Joe Biden. I didn't even get a chance to read this whole thing. Hold on one second.
This guy is.
What are you talking about?
Yeah. What are you talking about?
Okay, so this guy is literally losing his fucking mind because if I know, I think I know which one you're talking about, Connor, because I think I was the one that put it in there. But basically, he's yelling, he's yelling at the gas companies and the oil companies and all this stuff to start producing more gas. Yet a month or two ago, he just shut down all the oil rigs in America. So how the fuck exactly are they supposed to produce more gas if he shut down the rigs?
Yes, because you know what? Here's something. Biden doesn't fucking think about what's going on in the world. What do you make gas out of, Mr. Biden?
Oil.
It's fucking fossil fuel himself.
Exactly.
Gasoline, Mr. Biden.
Well, he claims that they have enough oil to produce the gas out of the oil that they already have, out of the reserves that they have.
He looks like an 89-year-old Jimmy Neutron.
He just fell again today. He fell off of his fucking bicycle
Oh, I
this
saw
morning.
that.
With
Jeez.
that big ass fucking head, man. Look how big that fucking head is.
I seen that's.
Did anybody see it? Did anybody see the picture? He's like face down, ass up. It's fucking hilarious. Sorry, JP.
I don't know what the hell is Megsy saying. No, I was just gonna say, but that's my point. Is he says something where Joe Biden with my problem is he says something.
And then he does the opposite?
I realize that that's something that he is shutting down is something that produces something that he's telling everybody to make more of.
Yeah, he speaks out of both sides of the mouth like every fucking politician. And
Well, see,
how many times in the past has he...
Speaking outside of both your mouths, that's just speaking outside your asshole.
Talking out your ass?
How many times have things been unearthed in the past where he's saying the exact opposite of what he said to get him presidency?
This guy yells at everybody. He gets on. He gets on his podium. He stands, and justifiably so. He is the president. He gets up on that podium and he starts yelling at Jeremy. You are a piece of shit because you don't like me. No, I don't like you because I don't like your policies. Joe Biden will he'll yell at a dog when he's not really yelling at a dog. Like he's mad. But he's not mad.
Did anybody
talking. So if you
see the video?
Go ahead.
I was just gonna ask, did anybody see the video of some CFO or something of a company passed away during his last speech?
He was like, fuck it, I'm out.
I shared it on Twitter, and I was like, oh, this is our president, folks, because he basically said your CFO who just dropped dead unexpectedly. That's how he fucking worded it. Like, he just said, a Jew just dropped dead unexpectedly.
He talks mean to people. He's just I
think he talked that man to death.
I'm like, way to go. Way to show sympathy to people that you're talking to there, Mr. President. Like, fucking thumbs up, man.
My thing
I'm going to tell you. Sorry, go ahead, JP.
It works both ways, and we're starting. People don't realize that these people don't give they don't give two shits about how we do or what we do, just as long as we pay them their money and then they aren't there for us. They're there for themselves. They're their own agenda. They're making billions.
Listen, here's the thing. I am not trying to make this political, like one side versus the other, but if you look in recent history, every past Democratic president that we have had, our economy has been on the brink of fucking disaster.
Yeah. You can't keep the economy going and play the bleeding heart. It's just not possible. You have to make some fucking tough decisions.
And the thing is there's so many again, no offense to any Democrats out there, but there are so many Democrats that are pushing for, they're more the liberal type Democrats that are pushing for socialism. And where are we now? We are at a point where people cannot survive without fucking stimulus money, which means we are relying on the government, which is socialism.
Right. So he put out a tweet today about the COVID fucking thing. And let me find it real quick. I don't give two fucking dog shit motherfucking assholes. Because this is the kind of shit that we deal with as a society on a daily basis with this fucking clown. And everybody says he's one of the best presidents that's ever fucking lived. I like, give me a fucking break. Now I just give me a minute here. We probably got shut down, didn't we?
Honestly, it looks like anytime I see this man, I feel like he drinks a droplet of water a day.
Here it is.
He is the driest human being alive.
This is just so we have inflation and gas prices are going up and we can't put food on people's tables. Yeah, this kind of has something to do with to help that. This is his tweet. Good news, folks. Vaccines for kids under 5 have now been authorized by the FDA and recommended by the CDC. We have more going on than a fucking goddamn vaccine.
Well,
right now.
and okay, and here's the thing. You
People have
mentioned
given
food,
up on
you
the
mentioned
vaccines, yeah.
in trouble putting food on people's tables, okay? It's going to get worse because every single person that is in agriculture right now, like all of the higher ups in agriculture all across the world, are saying not only because of like what's going on in like Ukraine and other places, but just all across the world, basically every country is like struggling because of like rebounding from COVID.
Yep.
Because of this, our food is about ready to get impacted seriously. So you think the prices are expensive now? You think the shelves are bare now? Just fucking wait.
You know
Well,
what,
the funny
man?
thing is every time, and another thing, every time something happens, like the inflation, that's the we'll blame it on
Administration's fault.
that or the Ukraine.
Yeah.
Everything with Joe Biden is previous administration or the Ukraine. He takes no responsibility for fucking anything.
Yeah.
He's the president. I don't give a shit. You signed that fucking document. That day one, it is now on you to fix the fucking problem. Not sit there and fucking play the fucking blame game for 4 years, because you're gone after this next election. Nobody can fucking stand you.
See, there's probably
Zero
no chicken in your
charisma.
groceries.
Like,
Yeah.
he would have never been president if, like, literally the media didn't hate the other president.
Megsy, your grocery store's probably out of chicken right now because of the bird flu
The recall.
epidemic that was going on. Yeah, and then they had a big chicken recall too. But there was something, not the bird flu. What the fuck was it?
Monkeypox.
It was the bird flu because like all of the chickens and shit were being affected by the bird flu, and so they had to scrap all of that meat.
Right.
I don't give a left testicle about the guy. He doesn't seem to, like, from my perspective, he doesn't really, because anything that you guys get basically will impact us here. It just happens a little bit later, and in some cases it happens at the same time. So I mean, yeah, everything's gone up, and it's like it's washed away as, like JP said, blaming something else. You're not there to blame something. You're there to do something. You fucking God.
That's
Well,
why
and
we
you know
these people, and they're there because it's come on, man.
Also,
you know what
now,
the
like,
really,
sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, the really fucked up part about everything is, like Trump, hate Trump. I don't give a flying fuck. But we were getting jobs back into this economy, and we were also starting to rely a little bit more on ourselves during that time. And then all of a sudden, this happens, and then we get a new president, just right around the same fucking time. So who goes right back to trading and all that. And yes, you need certain types of trading going on with other countries. But when it comes to certain items, food and vehicles, all of that shit should be done in our country, and it's not. Like unfortunately, because of taxes and shit, most of the companies fucking moved to Mexico. And you know, Trump, he was trying to get those companies back.
Well,
Nobody
Every
else
single
is
company.
trying to get those companies back. Nobody else is worried about that. But that's the fucking problem, because we cannot be self-reliant if we don't have those companies.
Yeah, Canada's terrible for this. Like the amount of outsourcing we do basically limits the job opportunities we have, and it's all done for cutting costs. But at this point in time, like there needs to be some form of government interference for not or like some control over how much you can outsource. Because I remember when I worked with Rogers, and they would like his telecommunication company, they would outsource up the fucking ass to get anything done, and you end up with inferior shit most of the time because there's no communication. They're on different time zone. If they have problems, they're not calling
Right.
someone at fucking 4 a.m. to fix them. I can tell you that. They just go
Well,
forward and send you crap.
So
the company that I just worked for last year, they took our entire like order department, people that put the orders in on the computer and all that. That's overseas. It's in fucking China.
it's
So
cheap.
if we have a problem with the way that an order was inputted or input into the computer, then we would have to actually get a hold of our supervisors, who would then have to get a hold of their supervisors, who would then call over to China so they could fix it. It was a big fucking mess.
It's usually not. In the end, it doesn't really save time, and in some cases, it costs more money just because there's no direct line of communication outside of the fact that we have to. It's back and forth. There's tag and there's ask, and they're working to develop something for a market they don't understand. They don't live here. They don't know how this market works. So if it's just coding and very simple things like things that are manufacturing us, this is why it's all manufacturing that's outsourced. But it needs to be regulated because you're killing jobs in your own country. Not everybody wants to go to school for fucking 8 years to
Well,
do a job that they make nothing on.
the funny thing is we say you're talking about jobs, and all of these jobs that were so-called created just goes to show you how many people just decided to quit fucking working after fucking COVID.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, first of all, COVID went on way too long, way too long. I mean, hindsight is 2020, but even during COVID, there was a point where it's like all the fucking information you have is directing you that now this will not help anymore.
No,
But
I
it
mean,
lasted for about almost, I'm going to say 8 months to a year too long in terms of what they did here, at
and
least.
again, make sure I'm very clear. I'm not saying that Joe Biden didn't create jobs, but he didn't create as many jobs as you all think he
I was
created.
gonna say, people going back to their regular jobs after lockdown does not mean they created a fucking job.
Exactly.
The left will at times do exactly that. And when I mean left, that you're looking at the GIF, he's a leftist. So he is all about making you, and I'm not telling everybody that Joe Biden is our president at the end of the day. Be careful what you say, but what he is doing could be possibly an overthrow. You could look at it. I'm not shitting you. You could look at it. We want you to live off of us. We don't want you to have to worry about. And then we
It's
become
socialism.
Venezuela. We become Venezuela, and you know how Venezuela's doing right now. That's what the
Exactly.
left,
Like, they keep
the
on trying
left
to push.
wants you to become. They want you to live off.
They want
They
you to be
want
government
you to
reliant.
be, yes, and they're pushing socialism because that's exactly what it fucking is. You have to rely on the government for everything, which sounds great and grand when you're talking
It doesn't.
stimulus money and all this shit. But just wait until all that stimulus money is cut off, and then you have to rely on the government for everything else.
I wouldn't
And
rely
see
on the
how
government
fucking
to
great you are.
fucking build me a box. Fuck's sakes. They can't do anything right. Like, it's too big and it's too ungainly that they fail at all
Agreed.
points. There's way too much government in general.
Yep.
Well, it's ridiculous. And when things need to get done, then it's like, well, we gotta pass it up the chain. Why the fuck is the chain 1 trillion yards long? So that it takes forever to get anything done. Like, it's it's built to fucking milk the system on every level. And it's
You're correct.
like, in what world am I trusting that? I don't trust the government at all, and nor should anybody, regardless of what like level or what like which way you lean politically. Always be skeptical of the government because they are preying
So
upon you at all times.
yeah. So to get the chat caught up a little bit here, or to get us caught up with the chat rather, Megzi said so much tech support had been outsourced to other countries because they rather cut the cost of paying Americans over quality of service. She said, I left tech support years ago because of that. And then Alpha said, Megzi, you can say the same thing about automakers. And he goes on to point out that GM and Ford they moved to Mexico because of the taxes and that they could pay their workers less. And the left essentially wants us to become the new society union, aka China 2.0. Alpha says.
Oh no, not even close. Not even
Yeah,
close.
no, they just want us to become socialists.
Yeah, China's not a socialist country; it's communist. Well,
yeah, and China is.
well, it is a socialist country.
But I mean,
but there's a difference between.
They believe more
Sorry?
in communism is actually a economy. So they believe, the money is ours, but they really have none. That's what communism is. The socialist is how the country is run as a whole. You'll rely on us and nobody else.
Yeah, and then you have no say-so. Like, you have no say-so whatsoever. So, like, you want to talk about your rights being violated to try having your rights taken away, because if this becomes a socialist country, then guess what? Your amendment rights are gone.
I mean, in a
socialist
country, you'll still make money.
But no,
In a communist country, you won't have any money. They'll give you a little bit here and there, but they're not going to give you. They're going to take all of your money and give you what's left over.
Just like politics, any ist is not going to work out, because no matter how good it sounds on paper, it'll be fucking warped into some sort of terribleness. Capitalism, same fucking shit. It gets warped to benefit certain people, and if somebody's benefiting, somebody's losing out.
But the thing is, when you're talking about politics, there is no good side, in my opinion. There is no good side.
That's the worst.
Here's the thing. Okay. You have certain Republicans that are very adamant against LGBTQ. They're very adamant against what I consider basic human. I don't want to say rights, but it's not all of them. Kind of like how with the Democrats, you have some of them that are pushing for socialism. You have some of them that are very liberal. But again, it's not all of them. So I have such a hard time with being lumped as a Republican or lumped as a Democrat, because for me personally, I share ideals from both sides.
Nobody fits into the perfect mold of what they're
more like libertarian, I guess. I don't
what the example is. I mean, I fucking my ideals in the past, which were considered more liberals changed, and a lot of the ideals that liberal held have moved to the conservative side. And I like, the thing is, that's fucked up, because then I think I'm more center than anything else, but who's representing that? Nobody.
Well, and the fucked up part is, sorry?
Oh, I just want to, Megzi said, I feel like we need to start over and make rules for the way society is today and not in the 1800s. Like what?
I mean, some of the rules are. Some rules are archaic.
Here's the thing. Megzi, I agree with you in certain aspects, but the problem is, if we were to start over, who exactly is going to be starting, or who's going to be writing that? It's going to be a lot of things that most of us necessarily don't agree with, even in today's society, because you're going to have a lot of one-sidedness either way around, if that makes sense.
I think today,
to sit there and clarify that is, look at how long it took them to agree on something for the stimulus package to begin with.
Yep. They don't care about, I hate to say this, the government
doesn't care about the people they're governing.
People don't care, they don't care about the people. They don't care about the people, period.
I mean, they only care about the people when they need the people, which they technically need the people all the time. But since they have them and they've been established, it's like, we can't really lose in the end. But
I mean, look at Nancy Pelosi. The only reason why.
Go ahead.
Sorry?
No, I was just going to say,
I was just gonna say,
if you take too many rules away from anybody, then you're going to have a even bigger problem with those that
we'll have a
you
civil war
can't
on our
somebody
hands.
that's been in the same frame of mind be conformant unless you throw them in prison.
And not to mention, a lot of
Yeah.
them have already been amended to be more up to date towards today's society.
You know, the Second Amendment is
Yeah,
not,
that's true.
but it should be,
Um,
but you can only do an amendment to that because
which from what I heard, the Senate actually passed
that red
a
tag law is a
new
bullshit answer. I hate to say that. I
it's
did
not
this
gonna
last
fix
week.
anything.
It's not. I don't think
No.
anything's going to fix anything. We had this talk
It's
last
not.
week, and it
Yeah.
sucks. It
Yeah, we
sucks for
did.
me to say that. I'm not trying to be a dick here. I'm a realist. I honestly, in my view, I wish it could be fixed. I want it to be fixed, but is it going to get fixed? I don't see it happening. And
As long as we have
it's not
greedy
just the
politicians.
politicians. It's not just the politicians, but it's us as a people. I said it last week. Why are we going around killing each other? Why are we having all
Yeah.
these shootings? Because we don't like each other.
The
That
bottom line
sucks.
is there are just too many
Well,
people. In all
caring
honesty,
about your
like,
neighbor is no longer a thing.
well, the problem is there's too many people and too many ideals. I mean, I wouldn't to what Megsy said about like writing laws for the way people are now. We don't even know what we are. There's people identifying as anything in the world. Like it's so convoluted.
Yeah,
And I
there's
get
some
like,
people that are identifying as cats, you know.
yeah, it's like, I mean,
Cats don't
the other
technically
problem
speak,
too,
so does that mean that they don't have a vote in anything? Because like technically cats don't speak. I'm asking
cats
questions.
can't
This
vote.
whole furry
But like
situation has me super fucking confused. I'm so confused.
the problem is it's the extremely loud minority that is controlling more of this world right now, which is completely wrong. Yes, you can have a vote, but there's a court of public opinion and there's the fucking everything that happens because there's
Well,
outrage.
I was going to bring up Nancy Pelosi earlier. Like, if you look at Nancy Pelosi, the only reason why she is in the position that she is in is because nobody has ran against her in California for fucking years. Like, we're talking years. Like, there's nobody in her district to run against her, which is how she got into the position that she's in now.
I hear you. I everybody's like, oh, she's a great politician, but is she?
Oh, yeah, okay, no.
The woman can't even speak goddamn word of English.
I'm sorry, but whether she liked Trump or not, as soon as she ripped up that piece of paper that he handed her, she should have been out.
Well, he can't
Because
put her
that
out.
is very, very un-American. In my opinion, that is not only disrespectful, but it is un-American because she did that during the fucking State of the Union address where it was national TV.
I'm not going to disagree with you, but we can only speculate that that's what she was ripping up. Again, all I seen was paper, and I'm on your side. I think she is.
No, I watched him hand it was his speech, and I watched him turn around and hand it to her.
Nancy Pelosi, in my personal opinion, is a horrible person and doesn't give a shit about anybody but herself. Even her own kids, she doesn't care about.
She cares about one thing more than herself.
She likes ice cream.
Alcoholic ice cream, maybe.
Right?
But anyways,
have I been to poli-sci class? Yeah, I got an A. What is poli-science going to teach you? What is real life going to teach you, man? Come on, man.
That's kind of what I said as well in the chat.
Right.
I'm not going to sit in a political science class and learn definitions all day. Okay. Just
so
it's you also like, I mean, got to question, and everybody should question the things that they're taught, because I mean it's gonna be coming from a source that is, yeah, there's a curriculum, but fuck it, man, we've all been to school.
this is exactly why when this is gonna come off like a lot of people might get pissed off at me for this, but I do not. do not believe that you should have the right to vote until you are at least the age of 21, because politics are so fucking complicated, especially in today's society, because everybody's pushing something down your throat, whether you're considering Democratic or Republican. It doesn't matter. One side is constantly pushing some kind of ideal down your throat. And I honestly don't think that an 18-year-old has the mental capacity in order to, let me rephrase that. There are some 18-year-olds
And
out
there's
there
some
that
fucking
can.
50-year-olds that don't have the capacity to vote.
Yes, but there are some out there that are at 18, they have a pretty level head on their shoulders. But there's a lot more that have no fucking idea, and they're being persuaded by things that they are seeing in the media. Well, guess what?
And
The media is majority on the fucking left side. They are majorly leftist. So
and I'm
like,
gonna tell you, that has nothing to do with age. Nothing to do with age at all.
oh, I can agree with that. But I think that like, me
But-
personally, I think a 21-year-old or so, even a 20-year-old is going to have a little bit more of a level head than an 18-year-old in typical cases.
I don't
Again,
know about that.
I mean, there's a level of maturity, but like, I think when it comes to investment in politics, because you can't, like, if you vote and have no investment in politics, then you're just fucking blankly picking and choosing.
which is pretty much what most Americans do.
Can nobody hear me?
Just
No.
talk.
I hear you.
Okay. I have a problem with what Gina said. A little bit. You can join the army. You can join the army when you're 18.
Which is a personal decision.
You can rack up $100,000 in debt at 18.
Voting is also a personal decision.
Right.
You don't have
But
to vote. You don't have to vote. Everybody, you see all these slogans of voting. Before, back when I was growing up and when I was first starting to vote, it's your right. It's not your duty. It's your
right,
right.
it's your right.
I think the argument.
Do it. Duty to me means I have to go and do it. Now I do go and vote.
Just
I
don't
think that
understand how
I
we
think the
went-
argument is more towards the impressionable mind of a
Yeah.
person younger versus someone that has some
because-
life experience behind them.
The thing
Well,
is,
yes.
if you're gonna change everything to 21, you're gonna have to turn that to 21.
But I also don't
But
think
the thing
age
is-
determines an impressionable mind, because
Well, I can agree with that.
I've seen a lot of people, fucking 60 years old, hear it on the news, believe it 1000%.
Yeah, and I could tell you right now, like my 19-year-old is a lot more mature and has a lot more like a level head than a lot of people of my age that I know.
Right.
I mean,
No.
it's like, I don't think age is a determining factor, but then you have to put it at age, because otherwise there's no way to do it. You can't be like, you're
Oh.
mature enough. You're mature enough. No, but who's fucking voting on that? And how would you ever do
Rico
that?
pointed out in the chat that the Democrats were actually trying to lower the voting age to 16.
Right. They are. Well, that's what I heard.
I mean, I don't think 16 should be.
16-year-olds should be voting. No, absolutely not. But what if it goes the other way? What's to stop them? 30 is probably a good time for that they can start voting.
Oh, I don't know, but
I get you, but I mean, drinking, they've already raised the drinking age to 21. What do you want?
I mean that happened a long time ago. Where you been?
No, I know. It used to
All right,
be.
fuck this. I hate politics. Let's move on.
They raised the smoking age.
Okay, so Connor's back. Okay,
Thank God.
well, I was
well,
actually
we had the next
trying to
topic.
change. Listen. I had the article pulled up because Connor had put something in the chat that he was, busy at the moment. I had it pulled up, and I was trying to wait for you two to shut the fuck up, but you kept on going, and then I kept going, and then here we are. All right, go, Connor. You guys.
Let's go, Brandon. So with the last article to just transition to it is that there is a fun Facebook group. Have you guys actually? I actually heard about this before. Even I'm not sure who suggested for the article. A Christians Against Miss Marvel group. Like, come on, man.
Is it because she's brown? Is that the
It's
only
because
reason?
she's Muslim. It's not just because she's brown. It's because she's Muslim.
So it's Christianity
It's
against
everything.
Muslim.
It's just another troll group.
This is how uneducated people are. Does everybody know that Muslim religion hold on. The
Right.
Muslim religion is a Christian religion. Does everybody realize
Yes.
that? Then why in the fuck are the Christians hating on?
I just pulled this up. I pulled this up on my Facebook, and here's what it says in their about section. Miss Marvel might be the biggest slap in the face for conservative Christians to date. Disney has decided that the face of this franchise should not be Carol Danvers, but should instead be a gay Muslim. No more straight Christian characters from Marvel. Those days are over. Please join us as we let Disney know that we will not be canceled.
I mean, a gay Muslim, if they're going by like the strictest Muslim rules, is fucking hated as well.
Well, she would be killed.
First off, she's not gay. Like, just straight up, not
Second of
factually
all,
correct. If it's no,
And
like,
I also,
nothing wrong with that. Just that their facts are wrong. She's not.
Yeah.
I think everything about
also-
them is wrong, to be honest.
We're uneducated, man. They just.
Hey, not to mention the show is Miss Marvel, not Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
I
Dim-witted
also
twat.
want to point out.
Captain Marvel still exists.
I also want to point out that there is not just a Christians against Miss Marvel. There is a pagans against Christians against Miss Marvel, and Marvel fan against Christian against Miss Marvel.
Carry the one.
Pages. Carry the one.
Just
My God, no! Listen to this. There's
Boy.
listen. Sorry, I'm gonna segue here into like just for a second. There is a Christians against dinosaurs page.
Of course there is.
Yeah.
Yeah, the dinosaurs never existed. Come on, guys, you know that.
Yeah, seriously.
But
World's flat.
okay, so like that page right there, just reading in their about section, told me exactly what they are. They're fucking racist assholes.
They're fucking nutbags and people that.
As a whole aren't racist.
But you know they can vote.
Oh, not Christians as a whole. I'm a Christian myself, but like I mean that the people that created that page,
They're just
what they
stupid.
wrote in their about section,
They're
not only are they racist, but they're
Dumb. They're just fucking dumb.
they're dumb,
Yeah.
and then they're also going against LGBTQ because like they had to point out the fact that she was gay, even though
She's
apparently
not.
she's not.
I'm just gonna say
Not
this.
yet, at least.
I forgot what I was gonna say.
No, doesn't she like a fucking
Right.
like a guy in her class or something?
Yes.
Yeah.
As far as I know, at least in this version of the MCU, she's straight.
maybe
It's
she's
like,
non-binary.
no, they're
Here's the
confusing. They're
thing.
confusing her with
I-
with America Chavez, who is gay and non-binary.
Here's
if I'm
the
not
thing.
mistaken.
why should it matter? Like this is
Who else
20
named America
this is
didn't have a
22
fucking captain?
2022. Why the fuck does it matter whether a character is gay, straight, Muslim, white,
I
Christian?
think
Because
cares?
of the fact that you have the super religious out there that think everything they do is right and everybody else should follow them so that everybody can get
I
into
think-
heaven.
Yeah.
I
I
think
agree
people
with you.
confuse.
I actually sorry.
I think people confuse two different like ideologies with this because there's obviously like the people just fucking hate gays and people of color and people of fucking different races and religions, and then there's people that hate the way that the media manipulates it and throws it at you to make money.
Agreed. Yeah.
I am the
Agreed.
secondary. I don't have any problem with any of them, but the media can suck my fucking dick. In this case, I won't say that because the character is supposed to be that.
Well,
No.
and here's the thing.
It's
I
true
actually
to the
just put a
character.
fucking I actually, I fucking created a Facebook post earlier about this specifically. I consider myself a Christian. However, I also believe in science, right? I'm not hyper religious, but a lot of my family members down south are. And you guys know me. I say fuck like every other word, and I
What?
don't censor myself for anyone. I don't give a flying fuck who you are. I will not censor myself for you because if you don't like it, then you can go take a flying leap off the fucking hill. I don't care.
Do a flip.
But I had to actually put a post on my Facebook because I had relatives that are churchgoers, Christians, that were complaining about some of my posts. And I'm like, listen, if you don't like my posts, then fucking unfollow me and go fuck yourself. I don't care. Family or not, I don't give a flying fuck because I have no room in my life for people that are so Christian that everything just has to be done, you know. And these are people that I know for a fact are full of fucking shit because they've done some fucking horrible shit. And the same thing goes for this fucking Captain Marvel. It's the same type of people.
Yep.
It's the same. Type
They're attention grabbing. They're using a religion to make a point, and it's
The worst
stupid.
attention you can grab.
It's fucking
Connor, I know
stupid.
you're seething. You're
Mhm.
seething because you keep saying she's not. I get that, but that's what people.
Well,
it's,
Which is
to me.
right.
Here's the thing. Here's a eye opener for any of you out there that are Christian or consider yourself to be Christian, but are against gay people and all this stuff. Nowhere in the Bible does God actually fucking frown upon gay people. Read the Bible again. Read what it says.
I'll try to, Gina. I'm
No,
sorry.
Kill all gays.
No, I'm not talking about you.
There's a page
No,
at the end
I'm
that just
just saying,
repeats
like,
"kill all gays" in capital letters.
I cannot remember, and I can look it up and I can say it next week on the show if somebody wants me to. But there is a part in the Bible where
I know
the
that.
Christians claim that he is talking about homosexuality. It is not. If you read the parts before and the parts
a lot
after,
of
he is not talking about fucking homosexuality.
A lot of the Bible is up to interpretation.
Gina, I think you're talking about Leviticus with man shall not lie with man.
Yes, but read before and after.
I don't look. I'm as much of a Christian as the next person, and I'm not ridiculing, gay people or transgender people or whatever you want to be called.
Mhm.
I personally, with this, I mean, Disney will try anything to keep. It's a publicity stunt.
Well, I mean, they're no different than fucking
Well,
Vince
I
McMahon.
don't.
Give me those
They
low-hanging
want to prove
fruits
that
and let me fucking overdo it.
they want to prove
This,
that
however, no,
they
I don't.
want to prove that they want to prove that they're all for equality and they want to involve everybody, but there becomes a point in time where it becomes too pushed and too much.
Here
I
you-
don't believe this is that though. Miss Marvel, like, I don't really have a care
No,
to watch it
no.
because it's for a younger audience.
Teenagers.
But like, I don't think this is obviously Disney taking advantage, but it's also pushing a character that existed in the comic books that is a character in the lore, and they're placing it in a time where it's going to be more acceptable and probably do better because it's a business in the end.
Connor, go ahead. You're just seething. Go ahead. Go ahead.
It's not that you guys aren't correct in anything you just said. The part that just frustrates me is that, like, on one hand, you're gonna have groups like this that will target anything and everything they can that does not align with the way they view the world,
With their
whether it be
beliefs.
or
Yep.
their beliefs, whether it's religious, sexuality, whatever, political affiliation, whatever. You're gonna have groups like this. Fine, that's you find them in literally every corner of every aspect of entertainment, especially these groups against whatever. What fucking boggles my mind is that it's like we're against this, and it's like, fine, you're against this for this reason, whether it's right or wrong, you're but my point, the part that's frustrating is that it's like, these guys are fucking stupid because half of their reasons for hating this or against this are factually incorrect. It's not even a matter of like, it's not even a matter of like opinion or belief. It's just like, you're fucking wrong.
Did you expect
dumbasses.
them to be correct?
No,
first of
but
all?
it's just like,
yeah, I
head
know.
against the brick wall here.
And the thing that I hate the most is the
Fuck.
fact that this gets so much attention media-wise, and like, then all of a sudden, people that have never watched the show, know nothing about the character, will automatically think what they're saying is right. And things, I hate the it's almost like they're selling the idea sometimes, and I hate that. I hate the pandering and the selling of ideas to me. I don't care. Stop trying to sell me shit. Make a good character. I don't care if they're gay, lesbian, transgender. Just make something good, please God.
Right.
Alpha, there is Miss Marvel is a fan of Captain Marvel, and she has different powers and everything like that. But generally speaking, it's just that's the part that more frustrates me than anything. And I get where you're coming from, Basement. But it's just like, fucking hell, man. Like at least get your hate accurate.
Right.
That sounds
That's
really,
a good
really
hate
shitty to say,
to
but
this
it's
level. At least get it
Right.
accurate.
it's like, God damn it. I hate you because you're this. You're fucking. You're wrong on. You're a broken
Right.
elevator. You're wrong on so many
We
levels.
gotta create like I hate you because you're wrong and stupid.
Yeah.
It's
That's the group I'm creating.
Do you remember the there was a joke from DBZ Abridged where he's like, I'm gonna go absorb the cyborgs. He's like, well, we call them androids. Like, well, good for you. You're wrong.
They were wrong though.
That's
Not
how it
gonna lie.
feels. So
We do have a couple more. I don't know. They're very light.
all right.
That I one of them was about the changing of the Punisher's origin story
Oh,
in the
geez,
comic
yeah.
books for some reason. I mean, the only
Hate
reason
it.
the Punisher is as
Here's
good a character as he is due to his origin story.
It does take it away. Like it
His
really,
origin story, right?
Instead, they give him powers as a kid, basically,
What do you
which
guys
makes
want?
no sense. Okay, so the Punisher as a
But the Punisher had no
yeah,
power.
it's
but the
stupid. The
Punisher-
Punisher as a character,
He didn't have any
because all of
powers,
His
he
strength
just
comes
killed
from his
people.
anger at the
the-
loss of his fucking family.
yeah, the Punisher
Exactly.
is he's a military man. He served in the army, and he's shown to be like exceptional at what he does. And then they there's a certain group of people that plot against him, and they're part of the military as well. It varies at this point, like who is responsible, but his entire family goes on like a picnic or some shit, and they all get killed, and he gets shot up too, but he lives. And then his whole thing's about getting revenge on them and punishing the people that do wrong. Like that's his origin
hence the
story.
name.
It makes more sense
Exactly, like
than a
his whole.
kid fucking
Yes.
punishing people with powers.
Like,
Like, what the fuck, man? It's basically every.
Yeah. Okay, if he got powers when he was a kid, then what does he have to punish?
Why is a kid
for?
punishing
Like,
people?
there has to be something horrible that happens to him. Exactly. Like, it makes no fucking sense. I hate it. I
It's
hate
such
all
a,
of
it's
it.
such a bad decision.
The Punisher is one. The Punisher was one of my favorite shows when Netflix had
That's
it.
great.
I fucking loved that show.
Disagree.
You didn't
Actually,
even
yeah.
see it.
Thank you to Basement for fucking referring me to that show because he was the one that told me to watch it. But fuck this, man. Just fuck
Yeah,
this.
it's stupid. Like the thing is, a lot of people really like this character because he's in line with non-super abled people,
Yes, he's a lot more human than.
and it's basically like the most violent fucking pseudo superhero you can find.
One of the reasons that I am a Marvel bitch is that I personally feel, and this is just my own personal opinion, that there are more relatable characters in Marvel compared to DC. I'm not saying that they're better. I'm just saying that there is more relatable ones. Now, granted, I have not dove as deep into DC stories as I have Marvel, as my cats are fucking killing each other right behind me.
And I want to say before you go, sorry,
Yeah.
Marvel is like going to the circus, and DC is like going to like one of those fucking weird sideshow
Cirque du Soleil.
monstrosities.
Like Cirque du
What?
Soleil. Oh, I was gonna say monstrosities.
No, like
So
those
nice.
fucking like bearded ladies, strongest man, like the weird oddities. because
not
They lean really heavily into that.
yeah. Alpha, I agree with you. That's actually one of my favorite ones. Is the 2004 with Thomas Jane. I was actually me and Bazemore were talking about this last night or a couple nights ago.
That was a good movie.
That
Kevin
That
Nash
was
was
very
in that.
good.
I don't know what
But-
the fuck you guys are talking about.
Not
Kevin Nash,
that there aren't relatable characters in DC. It's just that again, my own personal opinion. I feel that there
Because
are
Batman's totally fucking relatable.
yeah, rich kid with parent issues.
Uh,
Dressed up as a bat. I get it. But my point, the reason I bring this up is because the Punisher is one of those characters that I think that some people can on some level relate to. Immense grief, immense loss, looking to take it out in the world and make things a better place. I mean, it is essentially Batman in a sense, but I don't know. I feel like it's a little bit more personable because obviously it's a more of an extreme case. Not that losing your parents isn't, but point is that Punisher.
it's more of a grounded, like normal,
Yeah, he learned how
everyday
to fight.
human
in the
instinct.
military
Yes,
instead
yeah.
of
And he
being
doesn't
trained
yeah.
by ninjas.
Right. You're right.
And he just didn't suddenly,
I
you
mean,
know, have a lot of money to buy a suit.
Exactly. Yeah, I argue it is. I mean, I argue that Spider-Man is probably the most relatable, if not the most relatable superhero across a broad generalization, because a majority of his stories dealt with like real world problems. JP's seeing something very interesting, apparently.
Your cat was behind you and laser eyes activated.
Just beat the shit out of each other for like 10 minutes. I just heard them like, I don't know if you heard them flying around, but
Nope. I can't hear a fucking thing.
what?
And that's typical cats, isn't it? Like
Yep.
they're beating the fucking
But
shit
anyway.
out of something.
But no, my point is that changing the origin story is just a very big misstep, especially now where they're like really gonna rev up those properties that they just got and really like push them to the moon with Daredevil and all that stuff. And then
Never seen it.
Daredevil was actually great. Like
Daredevil's
I really
good. Punisher's good. I worry about the Disney adaptation. I
Great.
worry about anything Disney made
I think
at this point.
JP, you would probably like Daredevil and Punisher, to be very
I'm gonna
honest.
say he's automatically gonna hate it because it's superhero.
It depends.
We showed him The Boys. He's like, I can't watch this anymore. So
Depends.
The
How does
Punisher,
he-
he might be behind more than Daredevil because
So
Punisher is a lot like Batman. He has no secret special powers.
I mean,
He's
anybody
really
can be.
good at
I could buy that he joined the military.
Mm.
well, you might be super critical of the Punisher too, with having certain knowledge.
What?
Having
I mean,
knowledge.
anything about fucking military shit, you're super critical.
Touche.
I might, but it depends on how deep they go into it.
Yeah, show goes somewhat deep at times.
I mean, it does go.
But anywho,
pretty-
but was there any other ones anybody else wanted to throw out there before we wrap
I
up?
know
this?
Trek mentioned Bill Maher talking about like blaming gun violence on video games and movies
I
or
hear
some shit.
this about every fucking 3 years too.
I have a.
I just don't understand the translation here. Like the numbers just don't add up.
No, they
You're
don't.
looking at a population that majority watches movies and plays video games, and how many of them are killing people? And then you look at it at a populace level, the mass shootings in certain areas that probably play fucking every single person there plays video games, and it's like next to nothing.
I
think-
so strongly disagree.
Yeah, it's such a stupid statement because it comes from somebody that probably knows absolutely nothing
Yep.
about what they're talking about.
Correct.
Bill Maher,
Okay,
he made a
so
couple
it's
points that are
it's-
okay, but he's a dumb
This-
fucking
I
bitch.
will
the
say
thing.
this. I will say this real quick. The whole argument, it's again, it's what the left stands upon.
Yeah.
If they've been standing on that fucking issue for fucking years.
What about
if
violent
you-
books?
Okay, here's the thing. This is basically the equivalent. Do you guys remember when we were younger and Beavis and Butthead was on TV?
Oh yeah, it's ruining our
They're
generation.
coming
Yes.
back.
There was actually, listen, I've told you guys about this, but I'll tell everybody out there. My town actually banned MTV for a moment in time in
Because
early to mid 90s because it is a predominantly very Catholic town, and the Catholic moms and the priest thought that MTV was tainting our little minds. So that
it is.
they actually banned from the cable. Nobody could get MTV for I want to say it was like a month or two, and then they obviously had to get rid of it because it was violating people's constitution, or not constitution, but it was violating people's rights because not everybody in this town is
You were right
Catholic.
the first time. You were right the first time.
Yes. So, but yeah, this is basically the equivalent to that. It's just it's the new age.
Like every time this gets brought up, the same fucking outcome happens. You're
Nothing.
wrong. Why does it keep getting brought up? And you have to be
You guys
dumb
remember-
as fucking bricks to believe
Okay.
this is real. This is akin, in my opinion, to believing the world is flat.
You guys remember right after Columbine? Do you remember what
Yes.
government actually banned? It's the government that banned this. They made trench coats illegal to wear to school.
I know
Like,
Matrix.
Tren-
Matrix
because
took a hit.
trench coats were what caused Columbine, right? Like this has been happening throughout history. This is just like the new age version of it. That's it.
Like, I can't take anybody seriously that jumps on this bandwagon. It's so stupid. It's so
Yeah.
blatantly stupid that you can never win an argument ever. You have no facts to back it up. You have everybody that killed people played video games.
I'm
Well,
telling
fucking
you.
everybody that killed people ate food. So maybe it's the food, you dumb bitch.
Okay, here's the thing. I'm telling you, okay, my son's, you guys know he's 19. He has played Call of Duty since he was like 10, 11 years old. Okay. And yes, he may cuss like a fucking sailor, gets it from his mother, but
No way.
he is one of the kindest young men that you will ever fucking come in contact with in your entire life. And he would never hurt a fly. He literally cannot even hurt a fly. Like, he doesn't hurt animals, nothing. And they're telling me that he would be the type of person that would go out and kill somebody just because he played video games?
The argument makes no sense. There's no
No,
way anybody
none
could ever-
whatsoever.
no leg to stand on.
Yeah, there's and like somebody of like a public figurehead like this cuntbag comes out and says that, I'm like, what? Why? What in what world? Like, and I know he probably fucking had people on that he chastised for believing in flat Earth and believing in fucking Illuminati or some shit, and he's gonna believe in this.
Yeah.
At least that's what I think happened. I didn't read the
Ridiculous.
entire article, but like Trick alluded to that. It was just in passing, but still, nobody should ever think that because it's just stupid.
Agreed.
Yeah, agreed.
100.
All right. Anybody
Bill
else?
Maher's a fucking twit.
Anybody else got anything else before we wrap up this week?
No.
I mean,
Oh.
I keep wanting to. I know I'll probably.
You
get
want
off
to talk about
the fucking
Sasha
number.
Banks?
I just wanted to get everybody's thoughts, and I can tell you what I honestly think. Good. Bye.
I honestly don't
See ya.
care. Yep.
Yeah.
1000%.
Yeah, I think she
Like,
needs to.
bye.
I think she needs to go.
Her
Already is
relationship
done.
with WWE. The thing I think what happened, if I have to look at it like from where she was to what she became, she was like coveted in NXT, and they fucking laid out the red carpet for that woman in NXT, and then she went to the main roster, and they did it to an extent. They featured her a lot, and she kept getting injured. She kept not being able to fucking work, and eventually you have to learn that some of your momentum. Yeah, you might be still popular on the IWC, but think about the people that aren't on the internet talking about you constantly, that watch the week-to-week show, and if you just come back out of nowhere and get pushed to the moon, while the women that were still there are getting that, they're not going to fucking put Becky Lynch sideways or Charlotte Flair sideways for you if you aren't reliable worker. That's just it. I mean, she's got the popularity, and they could have done something with her, probably more, but like, it's the I think there's bad blood there way before she fucking walked out. Where it was like, oh, I got injured, I'm back, and I have a feeling like one of these, I got injured, but then she's on like social media posting like, hey, here I am in the fucking Hawaii or some shit. She was always in some nice ass place while never working.
Remember what happened after Mania a couple years ago when she dropped the tag titles? She like basically asked for her release, and she was like ready to go, and then she like.
She did a thing on Broken Skull session, and it just solidifies. She did explain it was a mental health thing, but she did it in the most unprofessional way to do something.
She said it's a mental health thing, and then go on and take pictures everywhere she was.
Right, which I just buy a bunch of bullshit on. That's what I agree with you 100%. Because honestly, putting herself out there like that and being the way that she is, she'd be all about that shit. That would stress you out even fucking more than being a fucking wrestler on a show that only 1.8 million people watch. So I'm telling you right now, there's more than 1.8 million people watching Raw in the United States or SmackDown.
I will also say I don't think her level of stardom was at a point where she can walk away from the business and maintain that or grow. You know what I mean? She would continue to grow if she was in mainstream wrestling. Yes, she might go to AEW or something like that, but look how they treat their women.
Yeah.
She'll be lost and forgotten for some unknown reason. Or she'll be
brought
featured
in
and
to
nobody will
take
care.
She'll be brought on. If she does this, if she does a stand in AEW, she will be brought in basically just to compete against Jade Cargill, and then they won't have anything for her after that.
I also, if I was a fucking, if I ran wrestling, her star means something, but I'd need to know more about what happened, because I might not hire her if she's gonna walk out in the fucking show. That is bad fucking press for an employer.
I wouldn't hire her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't hire her regardless. Like I never saw what was so great about her. I mean, yeah, her character when she was like the boss, her character was cool. Like her character was really good.
That's the only character she can play.
Right, but as far as like in ring, she was not that good. She hurt people.
She you know who she reminds me of in ring more than anybody? Jeff Hardy.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Where she's not
Very careless.
Yeah, she's a careless worker, and when you're a careless worker, you put everybody at risk, man. I mean, this is like I'm not a wrestler or anything like that, but
about that one.
like she hurt multiple people and she hurt herself multiple times while doing something that didn't need to be done. And like she always wanted to, I think that woman has like a huge yearning for the spotlight, and if she's not featured, she's gonna take her ball and go home.
Go
me,
watch
me personally, I think that she. Sorry.
Go watch her Broken Skull sessions. She's a narcissist.
Well, me personally,
she's all about herself.
Me personally, I think that she was always kind of pissed off that Charlotte got more momentum than she did. But you know, Charlotte's not only better, but obviously Charlotte, you know, they had a leg to stand on right away with Charlotte because of her dad. And it's not because, let me rephrase that. I don't want to say that Charlotte is like only popular because of her dad, because she is a great wrestler. She does her job very fucking well. But having her dad in order to play those storylines, it helped. It did not make her by any means. She made herself. But having her dad there very much helped. And I think that Sasha was just pissed because Charlotte got that attention, you know, not only by herself, but with her father. And that kind of escalated her stardom a little bit faster.
I just feel like, you know what, in the end, whatever the reason is, if she's unhappy where she is, then move on. I mean, I said this like with Kenny Omega. I always thought that he should have signed with WWE for a couple of years to go back to AEW. It would have helped not only him, but the company they were trying to build. But you know, like it's their decision in the end. We can speculate all we want about why she's left, but I mean, she has kind of left WWE years ago mentally. I think. And it's just a matter of time to walk out the door.
The Sasha Banks that we see online than we do about her in-ring performance.
She's been absent for years. The fans still love her because half of them want to fucking lick the sweat off her ass.
Off of her fucking.
I mean, you. But
well, I kid you not. They are gross. They
are very gross.
Beyond.
I just
beyond
want to get everybody's thoughts on the Sasha Banks thing. That's all.
I mean, in the end, I don't even watch the show, but if I was watching it, I wouldn't miss her. She hasn't been there, and when she was there, it's unremarkable.
To tell you the honest to God truth, I'm gonna miss Naomi more than I'll miss Sasha.
I don't really miss either of them. Naomi has always had the same problem: constantly injured, constantly away, never giving. Yeah. She had a push, but it's like the thing is, like, you're never really going to lay your laurels of your business on somebody that can't stay healthy. It just doesn't make sense.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. In other wrestling news, Forbidden Door is coming up soon, and Hangman Adam Page is actually wrestling Jay White, I believe, for the IWCT. Shut up. I stuttered for a second. For the fucking New Japan Championship, I believe it will be Hangman Adam Page versus Jay White. And anybody that watched AEW last week knows that Jay White actually ran in on Hangman Adam Page and destroyed him in the ring. So I don't know. I'm super excited. I am super excited for this because I have been waiting for this for so fucking long.
But outside of last night, was there a build prior to this, or just happened, and now it's happening.
It's the build is for Forbidden Door because it's pretty much New Japan versus AEW, and the build had been. They had been talking about it because I'm not gonna lie, I haven't watched past couple of weeks of AEW. I just seen recaps, but from what I understand, they have been like talking about it, and apparently Okada was the one he wanted to wrestle Hangman Adam Page, but Jay White just won the title, so apparently it's gonna be.
There's a reason why White won the title. I think Okada is going to take a step away from wrestling for a little bit, from what I heard.
I can see that because him and his wife just had their baby.
He just had a baby. That's what I'm saying. He just had a baby.
Yeah.
So, and that guy, I'm sorry,
But
I don't care what
from what
anybody
I
says. That guy is hands down the best wrestler in the world. So
Agreed.
whenever I see Roman Reigns is the best wrestler in the world, I kind of disagree.
I will say though that I do believe that Okada is going to be at Forbidden Door. I don't know if he's stepping away after that, but I from what I hear, he is going to be at Forbidden Door.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying he dropped the IWGP title because
Right.
Jay White's going to beat Page because they're so essentially John Moxley is going to win the world title. Why they
John
didn't?
Moxley.
Yeah, he's wrestling fucking goddamn Tanahashi
for the world
The
title.
interim title.
I like CM Punk is wrestling.
Oh, okay.
CM and then fuck CM Punk.
CM Punk is injured.
Yes,
CM Punk is injured.
What's happening with the title?
He hurt his foot.
She
First of all, Punk dropped the title. Punk had to give up the title. Punk won the title from Page at the last pay-per-view, and then he hurt his foot in that pay-per-view. So pretty much the very next day, he had to relinquish the title.
He didn't relinquish the title.
They're doing an interim battle royal to get to the interim champion.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Right.
That's right. I forgot
Nothing
about that.
happened with the title. Nothing happened. So
This
they're
is
having
why
an
it's a risk to
interim-
put the title on a fucking 48-year-old or whatever the fuck he is.
Well, and here's my problem too. Right now, AEW last week they just had a match for the tag team championship, right? And the tag team champions for the longest time have been Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy, who, in my opinion, I love them. I love Jungle Boy, love him. But the Revival were supposed to be number one contenders, and they have had the number one contendership for a while,
And they'll
for
never
a
get
long
that
while.
match. AEW fucking booking.
But here's
makes
the
no
thing.
sense to me.
Here's the thing. Guess who was in a match against Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus last week for the titles? And guess who is now the new tag champions?
Yes, the Young
Oh,
Bucks.
it's of course the fucking
It was the
part
Young Bucks.
owners.
It was the Young Bucks. But here, Matt and Jeff were actually supposed to be in that because it was a ladder match. Or I don't know if it was no disqualification or if it was a ladder match. I know ladders were involved, but Matt and Jeff Hardy were supposed to be in that match as well. So it was supposed to be a triple threat tag team, thing. But we all know what happened to Jeff. So then they had to take Matt and Jeff out, and instead of putting another team like the Revival, instead of putting them in there, they just made it the Young Bucks versus Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy.
So what I was trying to say was that that's the reason that they put the title on Jay White was because Okada is going to step away very soon, which that's probably why they took the title. I speculate.
Honestly,
I don't know.
Honestly, in my opinion, in New Japan right now, Jay White is probably the second best option.
My thing is the Bullet Club is getting boring to me.
Getting boring.
I mean, I
Boring
can
for a long
agree with
time.
that, but Jay White is a fucking phenomenal wrestler.
Jay
so
White is phenomenal, and if they want to,
I do not dispute.
Yeah.
that.
So I think that as far as like wrestling talent wise, if Okada does not hold the championship, then they made the right decision putting it on Jay White.
and I also feel like they're trying to reestablish a connection with North American markets.
That's all.
It was going good until COVID, and then it all fell apart. And
And
Kenny
Jay-
Omega and a bunch of their fucking North American talent left. It
Not
was
only
ground
that,
zero.
but Jay White has been wrestling a lot for New Japan Strong, which is their American brand. And not only that, but he lives in America. So it is very, very easy for him to drop in on at AEW and do like what he did last week. It's going to be a lot easier for him to do something like that than say like Tanahashi or anybody like that.
I don't like this idea of I don't care about Forbidden Door. I know I hate the fucking name. It sounds fucking stupid. Because
the only reason why they went with Forbidden Door was because it was a Forbidden Door.
You don't ever open it. Ever.
Just like, I mean, AEW personally, like WWE turned me away by killing its own talent constantly.
Yeah.
AEW turned me away by only
Gooping up
caring about fucking WWE and being fucking the goofiest thing alive.
And that this is one of the things that I absolutely fucking loved about MJF's pipe bomb, because he called Tony out on this. He's like, "Are you too busy picking up all of WWE's leftover scraps?" Because that's exactly what he's been fucking doing. Everybody that WWE cuts, Tony Khan is hiring him. And guess what? Now a company that started out being for the wrestler and for independent wrestlers that they were trying to get these new kids over or whatever, now they're suddenly hiring all of these fucking WWE talents that are by no means anywhere.
God, doesn't AEW sound like WCW all over again?
I mean, they're turning into it quickly. I still enjoy AEW, but they're quickly.
I enjoyed WCW too.
The pipe bomb was only as good as it was because it ended him leaving the company. It held weight because that happened.
Did he really leave the company?
No, not him. Fucking CM Punk, the original pipe bomb. What they're comparing it to.
Oh,
basically.
yeah.
And I feel like the same. If he doesn't leave the company, then this will be forgettable. Because it was, in all honesty, that's the end. That's the only thing that can make it legit.
These gifts, man, they're great.
Yeah, these gifts are great. Look at that. That's the Netflix Squid Game.
Oh my god. Jesus fucking Christ, man.
But yeah, we could talk about wrestling forever, even though none of us really watch it that much anymore.
Personally, I'm not saying that I don't.
I hate it all.
Did anybody watch Dominion? I haven't watched it yet. That's why I'm asking.
I haven't watched anything.
It was last Sunday, and I didn't get a chance to watch it. I forgot about it.
That's when Jay White beat fucking Okada.
And I seen it on fucking Twitter, so that part's already spoiled for me. But I still want to watch it.
I watch it, but then I can't really see that great on my phone. So I have troubles trying to watch it. It's kind of sucks.
Oh yeah, see, and that's what sucks about like the New Japan app. See, I went out and I bought a Google Chromecast.
I got a built-in one on my phone. I almost said my car. I've got a built-in one on the TV that I got. Still don't work.
But is it Roku or is it Google Chromecast?
It still don't work. Is all he said.
It don't work.
Man.
But I went out and I bought a Google Chromecast, and then I had to jump through all these fucking hoops, right, in order to fucking be able to watch it on my TV. Because I went out and I bought the Chromecast, then I downloaded the fucking Google Chromecast thing, but then I had to download this thing from New Japan that fucking does absolutely
doing all this. You
nothing.
Didn't watch the fucking show. You did all this work for.
No, I did this like a year ago already. I went out and got this, but
well, actually, when I got my Google Chromecast, I bet it worked.
You just connected it through activation code on.
I mean, I can do it. I can do it from this computer, and I think it's a TV in the living room. I can.
Oh, gotcha.
The
But
best
yeah,
thing
like
if you
I
have
had
a laptop
download.
is an HDMI cable.
This
I had
Chromecast
to fucking
uses Wi-Fi.
download. Well, see, in basement, that's what I did before. But if you remember, my computer went down, and this was like during the time before Ronnie sent me the one that I'm using now. So I didn't even have a computer to do it. So I went out and got a Chromecast. But yeah, I had to download a special app just for New Japan, and it was ridiculous. And I still have to fucking go through the internet in order to be able to fucking watch it.
I'm glad the bird beat the shit out of this woman.
Yeah.
I am too. I would have fucking punched the fuck out of her too.
Dude, there's a woman on TikTok. I don't
I
know if
got
you've seen
raped
this
by an
woman.
elephant.
No. Well, that too. But no, this woman on TikTok, she owns she owns like a little hobby farm type thing, right? And she has fucking ostriches on this hobby farm.
Can you say
And
that one more time?
one of them, she owns ostriches.
Oh, you're right.
But this one that she named Karen keeps on fucking trying to attack her every time that she has her back turned. And this woman, I shit you not, I will find the video and send it to you. She basically just puts up her hand like she's casting out a fucking demon. And bird fucking stops dead in its tracks. It's the weirdest thing.
She's the bird whisperer.
Oh,
I hope she eats bird food.
Bird whisperer.
this bird is he's literally a fucking jackass though. Like he's constantly trying to attack her when her back is
It's
turned.
also the word. I don't know if you got wind of
But-
that.
But it's no. But here's what's really messed up about it. For some odd reason, if the ostrich has a fucking hat on its head, it will not attack. I shit you not. She actually crocheted hats for the ostrich to put on its head so that it won't attack her.
How did we get here?
Don't know.
No fucking idea.
This is the most
I don't know, but I'm
ridiculous
gonna find the video right
conversation
now.
ever.
I'm gonna find
Wait.
the video.
Last one I have.
Look at how our Discord meetings usually go, folks.
Ostriches with crocheted hats while fucking Arnold pounds pussy in the
Not.
middle of the fucking
It's
ring.
literally the 4 a.m. rabbit hole YouTube playlist.
I am not even fucking kidding, man. Like,
This is a reenactment done by the
crazy.
Simpsons.
So on that note,
Crazy.
I think now's a good time to wrap up episode 24 of No
Well,
Bucks Given.
yeah.
Want to thank everybody for tuning in to the debauchery that was this episode. I did see Frank popping in the last minute from Harsh Truth. Give him some love over on his channel too, and appreciate you guys chiming in here on the chat, and of course all the wonderful people here on the Horny Goat channel. You can also subscribe, download us on your favorite podcasting platforms, and of course make sure you guys come back tomorrow as we're going to be doing some HD dub, Horny Goat Wrestling. And then, of course, Monday, we continue the Marvel Roundtable with Ant-Man and the Wasp. So still got some cool stuff coming. And then we got some other shenanigans, I'm sure, coming up this week. So any other last-minute things before we wrap up and ostrich fights or anything?
You sure that's a good idea right now?
Birthday cake.
Birthday cake.
I actually tuned into a bit of Frank's review of the new Jurassic Park movie.
So did I.
And he made me at least want to give it a chance.
I've heard a lot of reviews, but I did listen to Frank's review of it. Spoilers, obviously, spoiler heavy, but
I've seen the trend.
it actually convinced me to want to go see it.
The trend has not been good for those movies, unfortunately.
You need to go see.
Yeah. But anyway, that being said, y'all have a good night, and we'll see you guys tomorrow for...
I am so fucking high right.
Well said, JP. Well said. Night, everybody.
Night, guys.
How high are you?
I am as high as kite.